will be a star freelancer. Learn new skills. Set your goals. Increase your skills. Browse over 100 plus videos and ebooks. Jump to starfreelancer.eu.
What do you do if you just want to import the exact function in a module into your program? Let's see. If I say import math, I say directory math to show what is in this math module. I see all this. But before now, I will simply import everything. What if I just want to import, for instance, POW without importing everything along? Because if you run this as this, everything here will be imported into your program. But this time, for instance, I say I want to import only the square root. What I will do, I will say from math, import square root. Okay? Once I've done this, there is no need to do any other thing. Simply use the square root the way it is. So I want to find the square root of 16. 64. Okay? Also, you can also move it further as okay. Instead of saying square root as st, you can do it like this. That means here now we say st. I run. See? Remember, from math, import square root, but I don't want to use this square root the way I use it here, full. I want to use alliance. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What if you want to import more than one function or variable from a module? This is math module. Let me check what is inside again. Look at this. If I want to import, for instance, this, and the square root, what should I do? I will say from math, import what? I need pi, I need this, I also need the square root. You might also even need the log, okay? You can do it like this. Then you do what you want to do with them. I want you to print pi for me. I want you to also print 4 raised to the power 2. Print also the square root of, let's say, 100. I also want you to print the log of what? 10. Then I run. See? Remember, I choose the one I want from inside this module. And I have these results. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Can alias be used with from while importing multiple functions or variable from a module? Let's look at this. You already know this. This is what we use in one of the classes. In one of the previous classes, we use this. Now, before now, we did not put P here. I see now, I say pi as P. PW as PW. I can put anything. I can put P1 here. I can put P2 here. I can put S here. Then I can leave this one as this, or I change it. It depends on you. So you can mix it up, or you use everything with what? Alliances. So the first one, now let me put P1 here. The second one, let me put P2 here. This is strange anyway, but you have the freedom of do what you want to do. Now let me run this. You see there's no error. So you can use alliances with multiple imports. If you want to import all these functions, or if you want to import variables, you can use all these alliances as you see here. It doesn't matter. If you are importing only one, it doesn't matter. If you are even importing the whole module, it doesn't matter. You have freedom. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What would you do if you prefer to import everything in a module to your program? If I want to import everything in math, for instance, I will say from math, import, then I put asterisk. This means import everything math. From now, I work with square root, for instance. Say print square root. Then I can put 9, for instance. I have 3. So using this asterisk means you want to import everything. You wish to create your own module. What are the steps? The first step is to create the program that will be saved. Let's assume I just want to multiply 2 items. Then I will ask the system to print for me the result of this multiplication. Okay? The next thing is to save. I'm going to copy this. I will use Sublime Text. I will simply what? Go to file, say save as. I call it multiplication dot pi. Then I save. I have this module now saved. But that is not all. The next thing I will do, I need to go to Python shell. To do that, simply type Python, come to this place. Let me zoom in. The next thing you need to do, simply say what? Import sys. Then you say sys.path.append. What are you appending? I want to append this file location. And the file location is simply what? /users done. Then you put arrow here, single quote, single quote. Look at it very well. This is where I save this file. I want to append this file to this part, which is the part of what? Of Python. Let me run now. Then I run. Let me check this part. .path. You see, this is a part. As you can see, this one is now in that part. Users/done. That is if you are using macOS. But if you were using Windows, instead of doing this, you simply say what? sys.path.append. You still put arrow, then you put C /users/ whatever directory. Can be Peter, James, or whatever. Let's say still done. Depends on where you save this module. Okay. Now let's go back to this place now. I try to use this module, which is this particular one. How do we do that? I don't want to run this. I will simply say import. What am I importing? I'm importing exactly this, which is what? Multiplication. I come here now. What do I want to do with multiplication? Let me say multiplication as empty. Okay. I say empty dot the function that is inside, which is what? Mult. Mult. I want to give two parameters. 4 times 6 give you 24. If I use, for instance, okay, I want to multiply 1.2 multiplied by 10. You see, this is my module. I design in this place to do what? Multiplication. Write a Python module to do anything of your choice. Look at this. I want to triple any given number. I have this string in this variable. I have this dictionary in this variable. This is all I want for now in this module. After I've done this, the next thing I need to do is to save it. I save it in this directory. I will call it my module.py. Then I save. If I come to this place now, I will say import my module. Let me assume I don't know what is inside for now. I want to see what is inside. I will say directory. What is in this module? My module. Then I run basic things. And I have D, I have arrow, I have triple. Remember, triple is a function. These are what? Variables. So now I want to use this, my module. So I say import my module. The reason why this one works is because I've actually append the location to the directory. Remember we did that? Once I do this, I will say I want to use this D. And the D is located in where? It's located in my module. So I'm saying my module dot D. What do I want in D? Remember, D is a dictionary. Assume I want the B key. I can run. It's 2. And if you check here now, B here is 2. Okay. What if this time I want the C? C is 3. Okay. Now let's look at the arrow. The arrow is just a string. I put arrow here now. Consider what? Python rules in machine learning. If you are not using Jupyter Notebook, simply put print in this place. You run. Okay. Now I want to use a triple. That is a function. So I come to this place and my module.triple, or we pass one value, which is 6. I need this to be tripled. So the result is this. If you multiply 6 by 6, you have 36. If you multiply by 6 again, you have 216. Let's use 2 this time. You see, 2 multiplied by 2 by 2 will give you 8. What if we try 10? You already know what? 1000. Hope this understood how to create your own module. Thank you for viewing. What if you want to know the location of a module? If you want to know the location of a module, simply say import, for instance, math. Then you go like this, say dot, underscore, file, underscore. This one will give you the location of the module. So this is where it is saved. Assume I want to know the location of my module. I will simply do this, use this to know where it is saved. This is where it is saved. If you remember, we save it in this directory. Okay. Also remember, if you want to get the associated function in this module, simply do that. We use this to locate what? The module, where the module is saved. Okay? You can also follow these other ones. Like you want to know, let me copy this, the doc. If there's doc here, simply come here and say .doc. See, there is none. But if I put math here now, I also put math here. So there's document for it. So what about the spec? You want to get the spec? Simply put spec to give you all this information. What about package? You can see. So what of loader? So anything you want, you can use all this to locate them. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What is PIP? PIP, and how do you use it? PIP stands for pip install packages. That is the meaning. This is for pip, then install packages. Okay? What is the work of this? It is used for package management in Python. So it's for package management in Python. And when you say package, you mean what? Modules. For instance, there is a particular module you want to use. Assume I say import Keras or import TensorFlow. This TensorFlow is for machine learning and I don't have it in my system. As you can see, say what? No module name TensorFlow. If I want to install this as part of my modules, I will simply say pip install TensorFlow. Then I run. You wait. It's installing it now. So what I'm simply going to do now is to stop this because we are not going to use this package. It's only after you have installed this through PIP now, you'll be able to use it. So any package or library that is not installed while you are installing your Python, you can use pip to install it. So I'm going to stop this. Okay, no problem. What if you want to know the version of PIP? Simply say what? PIP version. It's telling us what? It is this version. It's located in this place. Okay. What if you don't have pipe in your system and you want to install it? All you simply need to do, you go to this place. Okay, you download it, then you install it. If you need more packages, you can simply go to this place to check for more packages that you may be interested in. Assume there's a particular package I want to remove. Let me import Keras as C. For instance, assume I want to remove math package. Okay, let me import math. Okay, is there. I want to remove this math package from my system. I simply say uninstall math. Then I run. If I run this now, just see, it's warning me, skipping math as it is not installed. You may restart this. It was not installed by me, so why do you want to remove it? Okay, let's try another one. If I say import camel case, it say I don't have it. Okay, what I will do now, I will use pip install to see if I can install it. I think this is not much. Okay, or like TensorFlow that was 173 MB. This is okay. You see, it says was successfully installed camel case 0.2. Okay, that means next time if we want to import camel case, we have it to you. What if I don't need it again? I will simply say pip on install camel case. See, founding existing installation. We remove it. Do you want to remove it? It's asking me if I want to remove it. I say yes. Okay, then you can remove it through that process if you want to remove it. What if you want to know all the package installed in your system, for instance? If you want to know the list of packages installed in your system, just say pip list. So you can see so many packages that are installed in my system. This were installed by me. They came in with Python. Okay. If you need help, install, download, uninstall, freeze. You want to show. Assume you want to show something. I say pip show math. Let me just say camel case. See everything, the version, what it does, the author, license, and so on and so forth. Can you show to see the details of what? A module. Let's continue. If you want to upgrade your PIP, you can go to your terminal, simply say Python, pipe install, upgrade, PIP. With this, as you can see, Python M, PIP install what? Upgrade what? PIP. If you run this, you are upgrading your what? PIP now. If first of all uninstall this version, then went ahead upgraded it to 21.01 from 20.2.4. Okay, so let's continue. What if you want to search for app? Say app search. Hope this understood. Thank you for viewing. You are asked to explain Python class to a newbie and to show him or her how to use it. How would you explain it? In Python, everything is what? Object. Okay? Because everything is object in Python, that is to say, Python is an object-oriented programming language. It comes to a point that you also want to create your own object, because as a programmer, you should be able to create your own object. If Python is what? An object-oriented programming language, you should also be able to create your object. So how do you create your object? Creating an object is like what? Building a house. Okay? You desire to build a house. What do you do? First of all, you need to have what? A plan. This plan in the form of what? Architectural diagram. From the diagram, you should be able to what? To say, okay, this is the position of the bedroom. This is where, this is the door. You talk about the veranda, the kitchen, and so on and so forth. Okay? From here, you can start building houses. From the same diagram, you continue to build different houses. So this diagram, or the plan, is called what? Class in Python. Why the house you are going to build is called what? Object. Hence, classes in Python are plans used what? To create objects. If you desire to create your object, the first thing you need to do is to what? Create a class. And after you create a class, from the class, you can create your object. So let's see how to create a class. To tell the system you want to create your class, all you need to do is to say class. See all small letters. All small letters. After you have done this, you give a name to the class. You agree with me, the day you were born, they gave you a name to distinguish you from every other human being. So this class also need to have its own name to distinguish the class from every other class. Let's, for instance, you call this class your class. Then you put the statement you want to put. A equals to, say, hello world. Then I enter. This is now what? A class. This is a class I've created. From this class now, I will create an object. Remember, this is what? Like what? A plan. The plan of a house. I can easily create what? An object from this place now. So if I want to create object, because the purpose of class is to be able to create object. Now I have a class. I want to create an object from it. Let me say here, V is equals to your class. Then I put this, curve bracket, open and close. Once I've done this now, then I enter. So since I know that I have transferred this one to this location, then I will simply say V now, I want to access this dot A. Okay? If you want to print it, you print. Okay? Let's print. Simply say print. I have what? Hello world. Remember, what I've done now is creating an object from the class. What is that object? The object is this what? This V. Remember, where this class is living is the object. I created a class, I placed it in a variable, and that variable now is what? Taking the position of an object. Then I take it, I assess what? What is inside the class. And the only thing that is living inside this class for now is what? Is A. Then I call the A here. For instance, if I take this one out, for instance, I say instead of this, I want to expand it. So this time I want to put B is equals to this. I say this time, I say B is equals to 4. Then I enter. Your class has changed now. Now, I assign this class now to a different what? Object. I say the object is N. Then I say equals to your class. Okay? That is this. Then I enter. I say, okay, I want to print this object now. What do you want to access inside the object? Is B. I say what? N.B. If I enter, it's a 4. The newbie looked not satisfied. She told you why she was ready. She saw init function inside the class and asked you to relate it to your previous explanation. What you should know, one, is what I've just explained has no connection with this init. In short, what I explained during the introduction of this class is not actually practical. Because every class has this init function on the inside. What is the purpose? The first thing I want you to know is that every object you will see, be it a goat, a cat, a dog, a car, they all have properties. We can say this is a man. We can talk about the height, we can talk about the color, we can talk about the weight of this man. All these are what the characteristics of this man. And this man is an object which you can create from a class. How do you put these properties inside what? An object. That is where we have to start from now. Then you have to consider this. Whenever you want to include property for a class, which is the number one thing you must do when you want to create a class, because every class should be able to make provision for properties. And if you want to do that, you must start with init. Init indirectly means what? To initialize. Okay, now let's see. This is another class. Remember, when you want to give a name of a class, just like your name, start with a capital letter. If I want to call you now, if your name is James, I'll write J. James. This is always capital letter. If I want to call you Anthony, I start capital letter A. The same thing with class. All classes, you start with capital letter. Okay? So if I want to create a class called car, this you start with what? Capital letter. Then I put what? This. Now, I know very well that I want to assign property to object that we use this class. And to do that, what I must do to start is to what? Use the init function. And remember, every function has to be defined. All we have to do now to define a function, say def underscore underscore the init underscore underscore. Then we put what? Curve brackets. The next thing you should tell us, what are the names of the properties? I'm talking about the argument. I want the brand, okay? I want the year. The brand and the year. Or let me say I want the maker of the car, and the year. That's enough. But one thing you should see here now is that this is one of the properties, another properties of the object that we use this class. But one thing is missing here, and that is called what? Self. After you put this self, don't ask me any question here, just look at me first. I'm going to explain to you. Then we come down. The next thing is that we need to tell the system what to do with this guy. So I'm going to say, please, I want you to assign maker to what? A variable. Assign year to a variable. Okay? Maker, year. But what variable is this guy going to be assigned to? Let me say the variable is called, I don't want to confuse you, X. This one, Y. Okay? S or Y. But it will work. Why would it work? Because you have to initialize these guys, this property. These properties need to be what? Initialized. How do you initialize them? That's by using whatever that is here. Say this dot this. This self dot this. Maker and year. Remember, in some places or some books, you see something like maker here. You see year here. This is confusing. You don't know what is what. This is what is here. You are assigning it to a variable. This one is what is here. Assigning to a variable. The name you use here doesn't matter. Even this one doesn't matter, but let's start with SR first. Later we look at that one. This is everything. You have initialized this now with what? Init. The next thing I need to do now is to create object from this class. Let's say I assign it to variable C, and that is what? Car. Because of the presence of these guys, I must put something here. Remember, this was just to help initialize, but these are the major properties. Then I come to this place now. I say, okay, Toyota. The next one, 1999. So if I want to print this object today, let me remove this just to separate them. Enter. Then I put this. Enter. Then the next thing now is to what? Call. Remember, I use this one to create object from this class. And this class has two properties, this and this. As I said in the previous lesson, I said, in case you want something from the class, I use the word food. You want to eat, okay? How many food are here now? This and this, located at this variable. These are the food. So which food do I want to eat now? I want to eat this food called maker. So I will say print C dot maker. And that maker is what? Located at X. If I run, I have Toyota. Then I go further to say print y. Now let me go back. As I said, you can put any name here. You can say, for instance, let's take everything here, put here. Let's put 2 here. We are going to put maker here now. We put year here. Okay. Then we run again. This is a class. Now let's create object from it. Okay. Because it has 2 properties, which is the argument, other init, we use this to name. Remember, this is for initializing. Then we run this one. The next thing now, I need to ask myself, which of the property do I want to access? Is it the maker or the year? I say, oh, I prefer the maker. When you are looking at this thing, you look at this side. When you want to access the property. Like this place, you see, we use S, not self.s. This self ends here, inside this class. You don't call it outside. You don't use them outside this class. Now I change the name to fit exactly these names. But what you should know, this is what is here. This and this are not the same. This and this are not the same. But this and this are the same. They are the same. If I want to access that now, simply say print. If I want the year, I say ob.year. And the year I'm calling is this one because it's the location. If I enter, I have what? 2000. If I wanted the maker, I will simply put maker. If I run, I have under. If I want the 2, I should do what? Simply say ob.year. If I run, I have this. This is understood. Let me go back again. Remember, this one, just put it at the back of your mind that this is used to initialize the property for what? For an object. Because this guy is coming with some properties. If this class was not coming with any properties, there's no need to use init. But there is no class without what? Properties. Most of the time, you're going to see this what? Init. And remember, it's what? 2 underscore. After and before. Then you put whatever you want to put. But this name doesn't matter. Now let me go back now to this place. I copy this. This time I'm going to put a different name here entirely. Here I'm going to put Jacob to let you know that it doesn't matter. So now I will use this first one to initialize it. Jacob. Just to initialize. Whatever that comes immediately after this first curve bracket is what you use to initialize them. Then what I need to do now, I'm going to run this. Then the next thing I will do now is to generate what? An object from the class. That is all. If I want to access the maker, I will say print this object and one of the what? Properties. And the property I'm interested in is the X. Then I enter. It's BMW. If you want the year, you put Y. So what I'm going to do next now, is to copy this. This time, I'm going to remove this. If you do this, what you are telling the system is that you are telling the system that you want to use this guy to do what? The initialization, like the self. It means the only thing we have as a property here becomes what? The year. Let me show you. If I take this guy now, I say here, I have to put it like this. Here, I put it like this. This one should not even be here because it's no longer what? A property. It's only one property we have. Then if I run this now, then I say, okay, R equals to car. And I have only one what property. Let's say 1900. Okay. Then we enter. If I want to print, I say print arrow.the only property. The only property we have is the year, which is Y. If I enter, you see? All this is understood. Thank you for viewing. The newbie just told you that she's happy with your explanation so far, but she doesn't understand how to create object from a class. In simplest form, explain. Okay, before I can explain this, I need to create another class. Let's call this class Percy. Okay, we want to initialize this with init function. Then we put self here. Then we want the name, want the age, want the race. Okay, then we say self dot. The first one I want to put is name. So name, self dot age, then self dot race. Okay, this is a class Percy. This what? The structure. So you can use this one to do what you want to do. Now, we want to create object from this class. That is what you said you don't understand. Let me just tell you in the simplest form, the meaning of this. When we say create an object, it means what? Assign value to these what? Arguments or properties. if you take your house plan to your site and you want to build a house with it, remember the plan is a paper. Now you want to transform it to what? A physical house. Built in a place. Okay? Physical what? House. You want to transform this paper to what? A physical house. So we call this paper class. We call this house object. So what is the difference between ordinary paper and the house? What I see here is, I see what? Bricks. You see paint. You see what? Roof. You see doors. Okay? You are now assigning what? Brick according to this. Assign paint according to this plan. Assign roof according to the plan. Assign the door according to the plan. The same thing goes that if you want to create an object from a class, you assign values to these what? Arguments. The value you will put here, that's the numbers, the strings. That is what? You are creating what? An object. Look at it. If I say, for instance, Percy, then I do this. I say name, Peter. I say age, 21. I say race, white. Remember, in this format, it's telling us the structure. What will be here is name. That is the plan. The next plan is that we're going to put age in this location. The next plan, we're going to put race in this location. Now, you took the plan, which is this name. You assign a rename. A rename Peter. A rename number 21. A race white. And you placed it here. So what you have done now is an object you have created from this guy. If I run this now, you see, you have this. Let me show you direct. Print this. As you can see here, say, Percy object is located at this place. So that means you have succeeded what? In creating object from this what? Class. So now I can simply come here now. Let me copy this. See, this is P equals to this. I enter. I can access this property. I can access this property as well. I can also access this property. Accessing the property is not actually creating object. You have finished creating the object. You are only trying to access the properties of the object. It's like, I want to know its name. What is the name of this Percy? I say, okay. The name of this Percy is print p.name. See? What is the age of this Percy? P. P dot what? Age. Can I say, for instance now, instead of doing this, I'll say, okay, what I will do now is, I want to create another object. This object, I will call it P10. Or I call it Anne. This time, I say, it's still Anne. I'm creating Anne. Anne is what? 31. Anne is what? Black. I enter. So, okay, I want to know the name of Anne. I say, print name. That's Anne dot name. See, it's Anne. I say, print Anne dot age. So this is just accessing the properties of Anne. So the difference now is, this is just a blueprint. Creating object from this place now is assigning values, real values, name, age, race to this place. Okay? Look at what we did here. We call the Percy. We assign real value. Because this is unique. I can create another one as Paul. Say the age is what? 10. And it's what? Black. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Can I include another function after the init function? If yes, how? Let's look at this class. Let's go back to car class. Then we say def underscore init underscore self. Then we look at, let's say maker. Then we look at what? The year. Okay. We say self dot maker equals to maker. I've actually explained all this. Self dot year equals to year. Okay. The next thing now, the question is asking us, After you have used this init, is it possible to include another function? Yes. Assume you want to display to a buyer, let's call it what? Message. Assume you want to welcome a buyer into our shop or into our showroom. The next thing you should do now, you must still put save. Okay? Then what are you going to use in this place? Assume I say print, welcome to, comma. Then I want to use the name of the maker. You cannot pick this name. Let's assume it's a shop. Now, how do you call this particular one? Remember, I've explained. Sometimes you have just variable. For instance, with var equals to 10. If you want to call them, all you need to do is to assign values to car. What value do you want to assign? I want to assign the maker. Let me call it what? BMW. The year, say 2021. Okay. Then I'm going to pass here and I just say C equals to this. Then I run this. This is what? An object created from this class. Because I've assigned value. If I want to call this guy now, I want to access the maker. As I explained before, I will simply say print C dot maker BMW. If I want to access year, C dot year, I have this. What if I want to access this message function? It's still the same thing. All you have to do now, simply say what? Print C dot the function message. Now let's see what will happen here if we call this. See? In the previous challenge, self appeared in the init and message functions. Must we use self in both functions? That is a good question. Look at what we are saying. If you look at this, there is self here, there is self here. Is it a must? At all. It's not a must. Look at these two guys. This guy is slim. This guy is very big. Okay? Two of them have mouth. All we know is that whatever that enters this mouth is food. Whether I want to eat is burger, or you eat rice, or chicken, we don't care. Whatever that enters their mouth, we're going to call it what? Food. The same thing. Whatever that comes here, we are going to call them what? Self. Let me use that word. Not necessarily self. Whatever this self is doing, if you use another name for it, it's what that thing will still do. Whether you put self here, or you don't put self, or you put self here, you don't put self, it doesn't matter. And the name here must not be the same thing with the name here. Let me show you. If I call this one out too, okay, I'm going to remove all these other ones. Then I put this here now. I want to remove this one, call it fun. I'm going to call this one okay. As I said, whatever that comes immediately after this curve bracket is going to behave like what this self is doing for initializing, to initiate. Therefore, I have to replace this guy with fun. I also replace this guy with fun. Okay? Remember the question said, must we use self here in this place? But I'm able to tell you that apart from able put self, you can decide to put anything. All we know, whatever that enter your mouth is food. We don't get to know the name of the food. So whatever that comes immediately after this curve bracket, we do the work of what? Initializing. This one too, I can put fun here. I can put okay here. But I decided to put fun here, put okay here. What I just need to do, remember I'm supposed to pick this, I put here, right? Fun.this. No. Because I use okay in place of this. All we know, this is food, this is food. Remember? Then we put what here? Okay. Okay.maker. This okay now is taking the place of fun. Is still acceptable. Why is it acceptable? It's acceptable because what gives this guy right to replace this fun here is because we use okay here. And we have told the system that whatever you see after this curve bracket, treat them to be the same. So this and this are the same. We don't care to know the name you are using. It could be any name. It could be the same name, it could be different name.
But what qualifies them to use them in this format is because they are given immediately after the curly bracket. So we are going to run this now to see this. Now, I want to get what? The object for this class. Let me call this C2 equals to car2. Okay, I run. And I have an object created from this what? Car. The next thing now, I want to print only this. And to do that, to access this message function, I simply say c2.message. If I run, see, another function can come now. Say, okay, now I also want to say def. I want to call myself year underscore year. Then I want to initialize with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? Why am I doing this? I just want to let you know that you are free to put what you want to put. What I want to do now, say print. What do you want to print? I will now come here now to put this dot here. Where is this here from? This here is from here. Why did you put from here? No, I did not put from because I use this guy in place of self. Now let me go run this first before I say anything. Now I come to this place, same thing. But what I want to call here now is this here. I want to call this here. Okay, I put it here. If I run this, see, I also want font to be here, font. I also put font here. There's no problem because you can put anything you want to put. Run this, run this. If I run this now, same thing. What is a method in Python? What is a method in Python? Let me show you this. This is what we use in our previous challenge. As you can see this is a function, right? Because this function is inside this class, automatically it becomes what? A method. So in a short definition, a method is a function inside what? A class. So what is the difference between a method and a function? Let me show you. Let me create an object. Say C equals to this. Then I give these various values. Say the car name is under and the year is 215. This is an object. If I want to use this message, this cannot act alone. This message, for instance, cannot work alone. Like doing something like this, it cannot. If I run this now, we have error. The only way you can use this message is to let what? An object to call it. So it's always acting on top of object that calls it. For instance, C is an object, it's calling this guy message. See, we have what? Welcome to other shop. But one thing you should know is that this always come after dot. The dot is saying, I want this to act on top of this object. So this object is calling this method. So although the way we define it here, we define it with def, this is the way we define function, but because it's inside a class, we say what? This is what? A method. Acting on top of what? An object. And the object was created from the class. Okay, now let me do something else. If I say def now, I say message 2. This message is meant to just print what? Return. Let me just put this straight, for instance. Then I enter. Okay, if I say messages now, then I call it, I have what? Welcome to other shop. As you can see, this one is a function because it's standalone, can act on its own. But this one is a method because you can't use it like this. It must act on top of what? An object. As you can see, this guy is not inside any class. It's on its own. So it's a function. This guy was created inside a class. It's called what? A method. Though it was defined the way we define functions, but now it's not being called by an object. If object doesn't call it, it can't work. It will give you an error if you want to use it like what? Any other function. Therefore, thought is called what? A method. Okay? Let me use car scenario. This car, you have tire. Maybe you want to replace your tire. What do? You get a spinner to lose your what? Your car. Sorry for the diagram. This spanner you are using to loose the boat. This spanner is acting on top of this object. So I can call this one a method. That is what we did too. We call this guy message to add on top of C, which is an object. So whenever you see dot, dot, dot in Python, the next C is definitely what? A method. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. You have these properties of a class for a car. Name under CV, year 2000, mileage 21,000. With this, create a class for the car, a method to change the mileage, and a method to access the name. Class, please note that it is not a must. You must use this with capital letter. But the convention says use capital letter. But if you use, for instance, C, it will work. Okay? If I put this now, what I'm expected to do is to what? Initiate. And to initiate, I define this underscore init underscore. Then I open it, put self, right? Good. I should put the name, then put the year, then put the mileage. All you need to do now is to go ahead and assign them to different variables. The first variable is self.name. We say it's equals to order civic. Okay? We go down. Self.year is equals to 2000. The next one is self.mileage. Mileage equals to 21,000. You see? Before now, we're supposed to put name here. Then we put year here. Then we put mileage here. But we are not doing that here because we already have values for them. The next thing now, we need a method. Remember, a method is a function inside a class. We need a method to change the mileage. Assume the mileage tomorrow is 25,000. How do you change it? So therefore, we need to define what? A method. And the method is what? A function inside what? A class. Let's call it what? Change mileage. Change mileage. Then we put it like this. Then what are you going to put here? As I said, you can put self here, or you put another thing, another name. Okay? Now, the next thing I need to do now is to tell the system how to change it. What am I changing? I'll just come here now. I say, I want to change the mileage. That means I want to change this value. But what do you want to use to change it? I want to change with a value. What is the value? I don't know. That means I am giving a room for the user to put any value. Therefore, I have to put here now whatever I want to use for it. I call this one mileage. Okay, then I put this one here now, mileage. But remember, this mileage here is different from this mileage. This one is just giving room for the user. So this is mileage. I can even put it number, whatever. Then put same here. Okay, let me put num so that you will not be confused. Num. So whatever value the person will supply will change this value from 21,000. This is what it's saying. If you do this, what next? It says a method to access the name. How do you access the name? If you want to access this name with a method, how do you access the name? Remember, with a method. Simply say def access name multiple self. How do you want to access the name? Return. Okay. This self.name. Okay. And remember, we can put another T here, but whatever you put here, you must also put it here. We are going to come back to that. So let's cross check. We need to put column here. This needs to be what? Indented. Okay. Can run now. Let's run. Everything's okay. Now, the first thing we want to do now is to create an object from this car. Let's say the object we are creating, let's say car 1, is equals to car. We put this. Remember, here is just self. Because it's just self, there is no need to put name, year inside this place. Like we put value here, for instance. Okay, I say the name is what? Suzuki. or Benz. Then I tell you that what? The year is 1980 or 1950. It's okay. The next one is what? 10,000 mileage. No. Because as you can see in this place, here is only save. And if it's only save, we don't need to put any argument in this place. So because of that, this is enough to what? To create object from this car class. Okay, now we need to do first of all to change the mileage. Okay, the way it is, if I want to call this mileage now, all I need to do first, I say car one dot mileage. I remember the mileage is what? It's a variable. So this is enough. It says 21,000. I want to change it now. How do I change it? To change it, I say car1, which is the object, should call this method. Why is it called method again? Because it's a function inside what? A class. And to use it, you must call it on top of what? An object. What do you want to change it to? That is this place now. I want to put it as what? 30,000. Then I run. The next thing is that I want to go back and call the mileage now. What is the value of mileage now? If I come here now, I run again. See, it's now 30,000. After that, it says we must be able to access the name of the car. This is the method to access the name of the car. I will put this here, giving us what? Order Civic. But what you should know is that this class is still perfect. We have not changed anything here for this class. We can prove this by creating another object from it. Let's say the next object is car2. Okay? Is equals to car. We run. So now let's check again the mileage of this car2. If we run this now, see 21,000. Huh? 21,000. Yes. It's still using this one because this new object is created from here direct, from the blueprint. Remember, the car1 was created from the blueprint too. That you change the mileage of this one to 30,000 doesn't mean you change the blueprint, which is the car. If you still go ahead and check this one now, the mileage of car1 still remain what? 30,000. Know what we have done? Let me explain again. This is a blueprint. It has what? 21K. Let me use only this property. You created car1. You created what? car2. Car1 and car2, they are what? The object from this class, which is what? The plan, the blueprint. You went ahead and changed the value of this one to what? 30K. But you didn't change this value. If you call this one out, the mileage, you always have this. If you call this one, you will always have what? 21,000. Because when you created this, you did not change what? The mileage. If you go ahead and create another object from this one, it will still remain 21,000. Unless you use this change mileage to change what? The value of the mileage. Okay, now let's go ahead. Let me explain another thing here. If I put this one here, please, note, this self is not a must. I can put CC here, but CC must be here. I can put here now, HJU. Mean nothing to me, but I'm just putting it to let you know that it's not affecting anything. Then I can run. But remember, this name still remain. This one still remain. Okay? Still remain. If I run, it will go. Then let me go ahead now and create car 4 from this car. Okay? Then I run. So car 4, let me say car 4. Let's see what the year. See? No error. Now let's look at the name. Access name. Say car 4. Access name. Okay. If you want to use the year, you can say use the year. You can say return this. And also return what? The year. Say dot year. Okay. Now let me rerun this. If I run this now, I say I want to access the name this time. You see, it was under Civic and 2000 because I went ahead, I include the year in my return. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Look at the class below and explain how you will change the weight of the object of the class. As far as this is concerned for now, this is just a class. There is no object here. The first thing we need to do is to create the object before we can answer this question. That is to say, cc equals to car. Then we put all these values. The first one I want to put is the name. Let's call it Tesla. The next one is the weight. Let's put 50,000. Then we run. Now we have object. Before it was a class. Now we have object. If I want to get the weight now, we say cc dot set weight. Remember, this is a variable. No need to put this because this is not a method. If I run this now, I have 50,000. Remember, this is an object. The question says, how would you change the weight of the object of the car? This is the object of this car. This car, this is the object. How do you change this weight? If you want to change this weight from 50,000 you used to create the object, you simply come to this place and say what? This is equals to whatever number. Let me put 10. You run this one again now. Run, you have 10. After setting it, you can actually change the value because these are the property. You can change them because that is the way it was designed in this place. Now let me explain something to you. What I did here. As you can see here, the system is very intelligent. When this one was defined, name was given before the weight. But in this place, weight is mentioned before the name. It doesn't matter. Hope you now know how to change a value after creating an object from a class. Thank you for viewing. Can a class be empty in Python? How do I mean? This is a class. I said the name of the class is animal. For now, I don't have anything to put. You cannot. If I run this, error, unexpected EOF Y passing. What if you don't have anything to put for now? All you need to do, put this keyword pass. It means for now, I don't have anything for you. It's allowed. But know that if you go ahead to use it to create an object called V, see, it's still allowed. But the point is that it's empty. Nothing is at this location. It just what pass. Hope this is understood. That if you have nothing to put in a class, you can use what? Pass. In place of all the statement you would have put there. Thank you for viewing. Is it possible to delete the property of an object in Python? Look at this. Okay, this is a class. Let me get an object from it. Okay, so this is an object. As far as we are concerned, if I want to get this property now, name, I will have Ford. Is it possible for me to delete it? Yes. If you want to delete this, simply say del c dot name. You delete. Now let's go back to this place now. Trying to get this. See? Car object has no attribute name. Okay? But let me now check for this. Here. C dot here. Is it available? Yes, it's available. The only thing we deleted was the name. Is it possible to delete an object in Python? Of course. Look at this. If I run this, we have this. The next thing I want to do now is to check for the year, just to let you know that it's okay. Can also check for the name. It's okay. Can I delete this? I can delete. If you want to delete, simply use del. Then you put the object. You can run. Now let me try to run this again. Name C is not defined because before now it was what? An object. We have deleted the object. Python cannot see it. Okay? But that doesn't mean that this class is deleted. I can still create another class. Assume I say C2 equals to car. This time I'm going to use under. Then I say comma. What is the year? Year 2000. I run. So this dot name is there. This dot year is there. Remember, this is the plan. You built a house or you built a car with it. You deleted the car. You can create another car from the plan. So the plan is always there, but you can just what? Decide to create different objects from the class. Now let's try something. Can we delete this car? Let's see. There, this. Now let's go back now to try to do this. Let me go back to this place now to try to run this back again. Let me run this. If I run now, see, name car is not defined because you deleted what? the car. That is class now. So this should have been, is it possible to delete an object or a class? Yes. If you want this class back now, assume I want this class back now, is to rerun it. But what you should know is that it's always there unless you delete it. Now you see the way we delete it. Use it del, then the name of the class, or you use there the name of the object. All of this is understood. Thank you for viewing.
It's break time. Do you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe to get new videos. Share this video to open new premium videos and ebooks. We'll be a star freelancer.
Now let's look at inheritance. So what is Python inheritance? Python inheritance allows you to, first of all, define a class. You define a class, then you define another class to inherit the property and method from the class. This is a class you created, class A. You define another class, but this class inherits both the methods and the properties from A. So A is called what? The parent or the base class. While B is called what? The child or the derived class. Remember, you created a class, you created another class. This class you created inherit the properties and method from this class. Let's see. One thing you need to know is that any class can act as what? A parent class. You can use any class to act as what? The parent class. For instance, this is a class parent. I purposely use the word parent for you to understand it better. I created an object from this class, X. I use this method to print out what? These names. If we run this now, we have what? Peter Atom. As you can see, I put save2 here just to distinguish it from this. But it doesn't matter. You can still put save if you want. Just to further buttress that, this save here is different from this save. They are not the same, but this and this are the same. This and this are the same. This is another thing entirely, which I've actually explained. This is what you know as class definition. Here, we created an object. We use this method to print out the names, which you see here. Now we created another class. We call it child. We want this child to inherit the property and method from the parent. That is why we put open and close bracket. We now call this guy. We move it and place it here. This is to show that this child wants to inherit the property of this parent. That is, this class wants to inherit the property of this class. That is why we put it what? In between this curved bracket. As you can see here, there's no curved bracket after this parent. This is the way we define our classes normally. But if you want a particular class to inherit properties or method from another class, all you need to do, you put that class in between curved bracket after the definition of that particular class. Because I don't have anything to put here, I just put pass. But you are going to see that this child will be able to use this method. So the next thing we did is we create an object from this class. After creating an object from this class, we use this print out names, which is a method under this class to print out what? These names. Let's see. If I run this. Now let's see if it work. See, it work. Because this guy, child, inherited this class properties. You can change the name if you want. For instance, I can say FT. That means here will be FT2. Okay. Then I can run this now. Here I can put FT here. I can even put here XC. Let me run this too. I put this one out, XC. I run this. Let me use this one now. Print. The same thing. All we are saying here is once you create a normal class, and you want another class to inherit the property and method of the other class, you simply put the parent in between parentheses. So as I said, this is called parent.
It can also be called what? The base class. Why this is what? The child, which can also be called what? The derived class. Hope this is understood. Thank you for joining. Is it possible to use init function with the child class? What is the question all about? This is class A, is the parent. And this parent class already has what? Init. Then you define B as a child. Why do you call B child? You call it child because inherited what? This guy's property and what? His method. And why B was inheriting A's property and method, it also inherited the init of A. So the question is saying, is it possible again to put another init in B? If you put a fresh init in B, the init you are putting in B will override the inherited init. Let me show you. This is what we used in our previous what? Explanation. If I run this now, I have this. Okay. This is a child. As far as this is concerned, once we run it now, this child has inherited everything in this place, including what? The init. So this exercise is saying, is it possible to put another init here? Let's see. So I'm going to copy this now. I'm going to put it here. Let me run this. Remember, as a child, it has inherited this. Now, as far as this is concerned, it's a fresh init, different from the inherited init. Then let me run this. Okay. This is a child now. I want to run this. Let's see what will happen. If I run this, okay, I run this, it's giving what? Error. What is the error? It's complaining of X in this place. Because this S and Y, they are located here. S and Y is talking about in this place. Is located here. This S is located here. And S is coming from this place. Or that what? Init. That is to let you know that this init I'm putting in this place has overridden what? The first init inherited by what? This child. If this was not here, we will not have this error. If I run this, I run this, I run this again, you see, everything's okay because there's only one init here. And that init is the init inherited from this place. If I go ahead now, I put another init here, as I said, automatically I am overriding the inherited init. And that inherited init is the init that has what? All these what? Variables that leads to this what? Method. What if you want to put this init for the child, but you don't want to override the inherited init? If you don't want to override the inherited init, all you have to do is to still continue to put this here, which is the fresh init for child. Then you come here now, put parent here, dot, you call this particular one, which is actually the same thing with this. With this now, you are recognizing the inherited init with your own init. Remember, this correct one now is your defined init for the child. This one is the what? Inherited init. The reason why we are putting this one here is because we don't want this init to override this init. If I run this now, I still run this, and then I run this, you see there's no error. There's another way to what? Do it. You can remove this parent, you put what? Super. Then you put open bracket and close bracket. But you have to remove this what? Safe. Let's run this now. We run this. Now let's come to this place. I create what? An object from this place. Peter Dennis. Let's run this. This object created from this place. We have this. Okay. Now let's try to print this using this print out names method. Exactly. Correct. Remember, if you put safe here, you're going to have error. If I run this, error. So you don't put what? Safe here if you want to use super. But if you don't want to use super, simply put what? Parent. I have to keep what? The safe. If I run this,
Run this. Then run this. See, there's no error. Okay, run, no error. But if I want to use super, I have to what? Remove the self. And I put what? This. If I run this now, still the same. So now let's recap. The question says, is it possible to use init function with a child class? Because the reason for the question is because as far as the child is concerned, it has already what? Inherited init from the parent. If you want to put another init for the child, it means that you want to override what? The inherited init. If you want to keep the inherited init, you have to use super. Or use the parent as self here, or super without what self. You will still be what? Correct. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Create a child class with its own property. Look at this. We have used this several times. Now let me make it more professional. Put self. So let me also change this to first name, then this one, last name. So I should put last name here now. Then I put first name here. Let me run this. Okay. So this is the child. Why is it a child? Because this parent is within the curve bracket. Having done that, we define a so init. Then we still put this here to show that what? We don't want to overwrite the init from the parent. But the question says create a child class with a so property. You agree with me that as far as this is concerned, the only property or method that will be here come from the parent. As at now, there is no single property that is strictly for child. The question says that what? We should create a property for this child. If you want to do that, simply say self dot, let's say weight property, let's say 200. Then we run. And let's now create what? An object from this place. Let's say ob equals to child. What are the value we want to put? Let's put Ken. Let's put Andrew. Okay. Then we run. If we want to access this property, we can say ob dot, then we put what? Weight. Then we run. So we have 200. So with this, we can confirm that what? This child has a sub property weight. Another way of doing this, we can remove this from here. Let's make this weight. Then here now we put weight here. Then we run. It means from now on, if we want to define an object for this guy, we simply use what? This. Then we give 3 arguments. Let's say the name is Peter. Let's say Paul. Next, the weight. Let's say 300. Then we run. So, dot weight. We have 300. ob2 dot first name. We have this. Capital letter, we have Peter. Or we put the last name here, have Paul. So what I want you to know here is this property is strictly for this child. Even after inheriting all these from the parent, you can still use this method for this child. Let's see ob2 dot this. If we run, we have Peter Paul. Remember, this was not defined under child, but due to the inheritance, we have access to this method coming from the parent. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. You succeeded in adding a property. What if you want to add a method? Okay. As you can see, this was the property we added. But what if we want to go further to add what? A method. If you want to add a method, remember a method is a function inside what? A class. Simply say def. What is the name of the method? Let's say print all. Remember, you put what? Self. With this self now, we can do what we want to do. Say print, such as the first name. Self dot first name. Self dot last name. Or we can say the weight of wherever is, okay, then we call the weight self dot weight. So what we have done now, use a print, which is the only function inside this method. Print the weight of this per se is this. Okay, let's run it now. Now, let's create an object from this place. To create an object, let's say ob2 is equal to child. Then we assign real values. The value to assign here now, let's say Nana Brown. Let's put the weight. Let's say 600. Then we run. So if we want to access this information, I say ob2 dot this method, which is print all. What is that? Print all. So you can see the weight of Nana Brown is 600. So this is a method we have added to this child. Remember, this child also have access to the method in the parent, and the only method in this parent is this print out names. Let's see. So we can say ob2 dot print out names Nana Brown, only the name, because this method in the parent only print the first and last name, but the child also has its own method, which is print all. If you have a file you want to open and you want to read it or you want to write on it, we have an inbuilt function called open. That is the first thing you need to do. You have to open the file. In this first part, you put the location of the file. Where is the location? The file location. Inside what? Single quote or double quote. The next thing, the mode. The mode means, what do you want to do? If I have a file I want to open, I will simply say open, for instance. Then I give the location of the file. Assume the location is at user /done/ whatever. What is the name of the file? Let me say file.test. This is the location of the file. Then I tell the system what I want to do. If I want to read it, I put read. If I want to write on it, I simply put W. That means once I open it, my intention is to write on it. And if the file does not exist, assume that this file does not exist. Python will create it for me so that I can write, because I want to write. If this file already exists and there are information in this file, if I put this here, remember the first thing means if it doesn't exist, create it so that I can write. If it exists, okay, I can say write. If it exists with information, whatever I'm going to write will override what is already in this file. Another thing is A. If I use A, it means I should append to what is already in the file. I'm going to show you everything. But if I put X here now, or like W, if it doesn't exist, it will create it. If it exists, no problem. But if I put X here, it means create me a file. Just create it. But if it exists, the operation will fail. If I put T here, it means this file should be opened in test mode. And if I put B here, it means the file should be opened in what? In binary mode. But what if I want to read and I also want to write on it? All I need to do is to simply use what? Plus. With this plus, I can read it. I can also write on it. Both. Remember, this for only reading, this to write. But if I want to do both, I can use this plus. Okay, I will say this. After opening it, what is the next thing? If I use the open, assume I'm okay with this. Okay. The next thing, once you open it, you are meant to what? To close it. Okay. Once you open a book, you are meant to what? Close the book. Once you open a file, you are meant to what? Read it, then close it. But sometimes you might not want to put this mode. If you leave it like this, for instance, without any mode attached to it, the system have a default of what? Read. It means you are asking the system to read it. That is the default. Again, what if I want to read and write in binary? Remember the one I gave you before when I say put plus here, read and write. This is in test. If I want to read and write in binary, I simply say read, but in binary. Okay. Remember, I must use this and I have to close it. Okay. Hope this intro is understood. Thank you for viewing. How would you open and read a file in Python? Assume there is a file you need to read or you need to open. How would you use Python to open that file? Let's see. The first thing we need to do is to have a file to open. So let me get Sublime Text here. So I'm going to do something like this. Let's say, hello Python. How are you today? Then let's save it as a message. Let's say messages.txt. Then we save in that location. So the next thing we need to do now is to open the file. We say open, use the open function. Then we put either single or double quote. We give the location of the file. It depends on what you are using. If you are using Mac, you follow my method. If you are using Windows, you have to use the C:\\. For Mac user, you simply say users, then this is the location, then it is messages.txt. This is one leg of what? Of what is inside the parentheses. Then the next one now is to tell the system to read it. Okay, read it. Then after done this, let's put this in a location. Let's just say f equals to this. So the next thing we need to do after we've done this is to be able to read this. And to read it, there's a print f.read. Okay, f.read. That means we want to read what is here. Let's run it. Hello Python, how are you today? So this is what is in what? In this file. Okay. How would you close an open file in Python? Look at this. You open the file, you read the file, you also need to what? Close the file by say f.close. We must develop the habit of closing what we open. When you open anything, learn to close it. This is a process. You enter, although you have read it here, but you have to still what? Close it. Assume there is an exception while executing some operation with a file. What will happen to the file and what is the solution? If there's exception, there's error while you are performing an operation, what will happen is that the file will open without closing. For instance, say f is equals to this. Let's say file is equals to this. Then we put, let's say read. Then we perform some operation in between here. That is to say, do some code execution. Okay, close the file. And the file we are closing, you must say file.close. If there's error while you are doing, assume there are many codes here now. And if there's any error or exception within this place, it will not get to this stage. The file will be open. And this is not good for your program. What is the solution? What is the safest thing to do? The safest thing to do is to use try and finally. Okay? How do you do this? You simply come and say try. Instead of going straight to this point, say try. We put what we want to put. We execute whatever we want to execute. Then we say finally, close the file. This is the safest way. What is the solution? The solution is to use what? Is to use the try and finally. Try and finally. If you do this, the file will still be closed. Even if there is error within this place, it will close. Because you only ask the system to try. In case there is issue, go finally and close the file. What is the other solution? The other solution is to use with. You say with, then you call this, no need for this. Say with open this file as what? As whatever. As let's say F. Then you perform all the operation you want to perform, the execution you want to execute. This with is like 2 in 1. So you don't need to use this close anymore because this close is inbuilt into this with. With whatever, as this, do what you want to do. If along the line there is error here, the close inside this with will close this file. Remember what we are trying to avoid is opening a file without closing it. So the first method is to use the try. You follow this method, then you say finally, close. But if you don't want to even use close, simply say with, open the file as whatever, then do what you want to do. In case there is error, the system will close the file because there's close inside this with. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What if you wanted to read just the first 12 characters in the file? If you want to do that, simply put 12 here. That is to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember this space is also what? Part of the characters. So it depends on what you want to read. Assume I wanted to read just the first 2, the first 4, the first 6, the first 7, and so on and so forth. But the question says the first 12 characters. And if you want to do everything, you already know, simply don't specify anything here. But we needed to read the first 12 characters. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What if you want to read a line in a file? Look at this. This is saved as message2.txt. To have a line, you must use enter to break the continuation. Otherwise, consider everything as what? Just a line. Now let's look at this. I want to read the first line, not everything in the file. The first thing you need to do is to open. And you want to open, first of all, give the location of the file. It's message2.txt. Then you are meant to read only. The next thing to do is to print the file. That is to say file.read, we do this. But because we are meant to read just a line, we put line here. You see, if you check this place now, you find that we started from here, the hands are this place. If you want to read another line, you can simply put it again. You see, if you check here now, we have a different line. This is a line, this another line, this another line. But assume that it was not broken, that is, it was continued. Just want to continue, then I save. If I come here now, see everything is considered as one line because there is no breakage of the continuation. If you want to do that, simply say enter, come here, enter. You need to save this first. If you run this again now, you have this. Second, inclusive. Third, inclusive. You see, this is how to read a line in Python. Show what will happen if you try to create existing file and non-existing file in Python. The first thing we need to do is to try to create an existing file. If I come to this place, I have this called message.txt. Let me try to create that file. And to do that, simply say with open. The location of that file is in users, done, the message.txt. Okay, I put this in a single quote. Simply say comma, I will put X here. Remember, S means create this file. It doesn't do any other thing. Let me create it as what? As FL or as F. Let me not follow this method. I don't want to make it complicated. Let me remove this one first. Just create it in the normal way. Okay. I simply say file is equals to this. Then let me run. See, it says file exists error. Okay, file exists. Already what? Exists at this location. Okay, good. A non-existing file, what will happen? Let's put 2000 here. If you come to this place, there's nothing like that here. Okay, so if I copy this, I run, no issue. Now let's come to this place and see, it was not here before, it's not here. So to create a file, simply use what? X. If that file exists, it will return an error. If it doesn't exist, the file will be created. All this is understood. Thank you for viewing. How would you overwrite it to an existing file? If you look at this message, if we open this, we have hello Python, how are you today? In this file. But we have here messages. So I'm going to correct this to messages. Then I want to use W. If you put W, you are telling the system to overwrite what is already there. Before I ever continue with this, let me run this and come to this place. I want to make sure that this does not exist. Let me put 21,000. Let me try to run this. The next thing I want to do now is to come to this place. Check. See, 21,000 was not here. Let me put another one. Let's say 55,000. Just to prove to you that this W will create the file if it doesn't exist. Then you can continue to do what you want to do. The X we used previously, we only create it. It will not help you to do anything. But this W is like 2-in-1. It will create the file if it doesn't exist. If it exists, it will stop and ask you to write what you want to write. So now, let's see. If we run this, you find out what? 55,000 is here, but there is nothing in this file. So all I want to do now is to write something to an existing file. You agree with me that these messages is here. If I try to run this now, let me come here now to run it. You will see that nothing will happen. What is there is still there. Let's go to it now. That is messages. But now there is nothing in messages anymore. As you can see here, before there was something. Now there is nothing in messages. If I save this now, I'm saving it now again. I come to this place again, messages. Then let me open it. You see there's something. Now let me go back again here. I run it again. If I run this now, let's go back to messages. You find there is nothing in messages. So this W will remove whatever that is there before. It will give you a clean slate for you to write what you want to write. Okay. Now I want to write. What do you want to write? I want to write something into file. I'll say file.write. Remember this file is coming from this place. Write. What are you writing? Whatever you want to write. This is a lovely program. Okay. Come to this place. This is a lovely program. Read it for me. And it's telling me what? 24 characters. If you count this, it will give you 24 characters. If I want to write the next line, for instance, I can simply tell the system, stop here. Give me a new line. Come to this place now. It means this will be in a new line. Let me say, this is cool. Let me go further to say, this is lovely. But this time, I don't want to put anything here. Then I go further to put, we are waiting. If you run this now, this is on this line, another line, another line, but this will join with it. Let's ask messages. Let's run this now. Now let's ask messages what it has. Come to this place. We simply say messages. Tell us what you have. Look at them. This is lovely program. This is cool. You see that this one stop here continues with this one because we did not separate the line. And it's telling us 14 because it's looking at this last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But remember, once you open something, all you need to do is to what? Close it. Once we close it now, that 14 disappeared. That is the advantage of closing what you open. But assume you don't want to follow this method. As I said, simply take this, say with this as, say F, then you can tell the system to run all this. This time, I want to use a different name. Let me say the name is now 20. Okay? Messages 20. Then I run this. We are having a mistake here because we already use this as F. So we need to use F here. Let's run it now. Okay. Now let's go and check for this. Messages 20. You see it's here. Let's check what's inside. So you can see it's exactly what is here. As I said, either you follow this method or you follow this method. The reason why we had an error before because we've actually told the system to open this as F and we were putting file here because we just copy from here, paste here. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What would you do if you want to write into a file without overwriting the existing data? Okay, let's say with open this file, user. Okay, this is a file. I don't want to overwrite anything here. I want to create the file if it doesn't exist. And if it exists, you should append information to the existing data. Okay, I will come here and I'll put A, mean append. But before I do that, let me check if there is something like messages first. And if I check here, I have messages. This. So before that, let me put like messages 10, which if you check here, we don't have anything like what? Messages 10. So we're going to run this first. Before that, let me just remove this just to show you how to use this. We run. Let's check we have such. We have it now. Messages 10. So this one will still produce the file if it's not already in the system. But if it exists, just like this, as you can see here, already here, it will not create it. If I run now, it's there. But let's check the information here. If they are still there, find that what? The information they are still here without removing them. If you have put W here now, everything here will be wiped off. Now let's go back and say with this as, let's say F. Remember the reason for this is so that the system can help us close the file. So what we want to do now is to append. Remember we have things already here. We want to append into it. And if you want to append now, all you need to do, say f.write. Simply write what you want to write. This is the continuation of what we started. If I run this now, I come to this place. You see, automatically it's here. Then I can come to this place now to say, okay, I want to continue what I'm writing, but give it a new line. So I will do \n. Then I do, let me just put this here so that you can see. If I check here now, you see, this one is what? In the fresh what? Line. If I had not put this here, I run, you see, remember what happened? This was the one I did before. When I enter again, run again, it went ahead and what include this. If I click run many times, 1, 2, just like this, I'm just clicking, you find that what? It's just appending all this information. You see, it's appending. That's the work of append. If I put W here now, it will override. See, override, only this is here. But if you put X here, remember, it's not do anything. Only create it if it doesn't exist. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. There is a file you wish to delete. How would you delete a file in Python? Assume you want to delete this message.txt. All you have to do is to import OS. And this OS has a function called remove. If you want to check it, you can do like this. Just to check, you look for remove now. You see remove somewhere here. That is this. So we can import only this instead of bringing everything in. I can say from OS import remove. Then I will say remove the file, which is messages.txt. Let's check again. Messages.txt, this one. If we run this now, let's check if that file still exists. It's gone. Let's remove this one too. That's message 2000. Let's remove another one. Let's remove this last one too. See, I'm deleting all this file. Let me remove this one. The CSV. If you check now, it's gone. So this is how to remove file in Python. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. How would you handle errors in Python? Error handling in Python is also called what? Exception handling. Handling what? Exception. Okay? There is something we call try block. Another is called what? Except block. We have the finally what? Block. These are blocks. What we use them to do is, this help you to try a block of code to check if there's what? Error. What happens if there is error? Assume this one find error. This will help you to handle what? The error. This will try the code. You have codes. You use this one to try them. Okay? You say try. You put all of them here, all the codes. If there is error, which is what? Exception. As I said, another name for error is exception. So exception is used to what? Handle errors. So other except will return the type of error that occurred in this place. Okay? What about this? What this one does is, irrespective of the error you will have here, this guy will allow you to go ahead. Whether there is error here or not, whatever error it might be, this guy will allow you what? To execute your code. Okay? So let's see. If I have something like this, let me say S is equals to string of letters. For instance, anything you want to put here, whatever. Okay? Now, if I print S, you agree with me, there is no error. But if I say P, if I say print P, it say what? P is not defined. This is what? Name error. Name error. Okay? How do I handle this if I want to handle it? I will say try. What do you want me to try? Try to print P for me. In case there is error, what should you do? Print me what the error is. I have control over this. There was an error, for instance, or exception has occurred. I can run this now to tell me what? There was an error. Remember when I run it directly like this, look at this gibberish. I don't actually like it. So you have something like this within a very long code. While executing it, Python will stop and raise this error. But my mission is, even though if there's error somewhere here, continue to work. Just tell me the error. I'll continue with the rest of what? The program. So to do that now, I will tell the system, I know there is error here, no problem. So all I just want is finally print for me. There was issue, but I continue. Then if I run this now, it will tell me, though this one is here, it will still continue to this place. Remember, if this was just here, for instance, if I place this here now, before anything, if I run this now, see nothing is done. Python saw this, I return this error, okay? But if I carry this now, I put it inside here, as you can see, although there is error, it will not stop the running of this code. This code will continue to this place. I can even say something like this, S is equals to 300, print X. Let me run. See, although there is error here, it still continue. And what finally? Remember, this is to run irrespective of the error I have here. It will not stop this guy from working. Or like this guy, if I put this one here now, for instance, if I remove everything here, decide to go like this, only this one stop this one from running, okay? But this finally will not stop this one from running, even if there's error in this place, okay? What error is this? It's called what? Name error. Name what? Error. I can also tell the system, in place of this, just this place, okay? I'll just copy this. This is a name error because we have not defined P. I can simply tell the system that name error, okay, print for me what really happened, okay? The variable you are using, for instance, or I can simply put it back like this. Instead of doing that, just say name P is not defined or variable P is not defined. You can put anything you want to put, okay? If I run this now, you see, if there is an error, except should report it. What if there is no error? Who should report it? What I'm saying is, if I say try, I say print C, which is not defined. I say except should report something like this for me in form of print something like there is a problem. Okay, this is okay. What if there is no problem? I still want to know. If I say C is equals to 3, for instance, it's giving me this. I want it to also report to me if there is no problem. I will simply say else print there is no problem. So else will help me to print if there is no problem, or opposite of this. If I run this now, you see there is no problem. Printed this. If there is a problem, because I comment this out now, if I run now, it's still telling me there is no problem because this C is already in the system. So let me change this one to G. Put G here now. See, there is a problem because it's not aware of G. Okay. If I open this G now, it's aware of G now. Even though I comment this out, this another thing entirely, it will still say there is no problem because the system can still see G. Because I've actually run this in the system. It's already aware of G. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. How would you handle opening a non-existing file? Let's see. You have a file in the system you want to open. We say use try. This is the place to try to run anything you want to run. And if there is error, it will simply return the error. Let's say there is a file I think exists. What do you want to do with this? Let me say to read. I want to read this. Even though you don't put this, it's still okay. The system knows. Just to open, no problem. If there is error, what should I do? Please report that there is a problem. Okay. If I actually open the file, what should I do? I will say finally file.close. Let's see. There is a problem because this does not exist. Okay. If I put the file that is there, I have this file in this location. If I run this, nothing. But I don't like it like this. I also want the system to tell me that there is no problem. If I run this again, see, there is no problem. Okay? This how to handle things like that. If you have a file you want to open, you want to work with it, you want to write something to it. For instance, assume I put this one too. What I want to do this time, I want to write into it. That's what I want to do. I want to write into it. It's a new file. What do I want to write into it? I will simply say file dot write. Write what? This word is not balanced. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Okay? Assume that's what I want to write here. If I run this, see there's no problem. So if I go now, I will see that that has been generated for me. Here, I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom. Okay? If I make mistake, instead of write, I put this. If I run this, say there is a problem. Okay? I may also want to do some other thing here. Like t is equals to 7 times 2. Print t. What happened here will not stop this. If I run this, you see, although it reports there's a problem in this place, it doesn't stop this from running. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Zip files. Working with zip file in Python. What is a zip file? A zip file is an archive format that is used for data compression. And why zip is good is that it supports lossless compression. Okay? What is the meaning of lossless compression? This means that once you use the zip compression algorithm, you should be able to compress the file. And when you are trying to compress the file, that is, or zip the file, you will have exactly the same document or folder you zipped, you compressed. That's why we call it what? Lossless compression. So how do you deal with this? You import a module called zip file. Let's check what is inside. You can see all this, the classes and the method in this particular module. All this. Okay. So we're going to use some of these in our next exercise. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Using the attached zip file, find the contents of the file and unzip it using Python program. The first thing we need to see is to see the zip file. Let's look at this. This is the content of this file. Let's compress it. It's now in this format in zip. We're going to try to unzip it. And if you want to do that, say from zip file, import this class, zip file. Okay. Then we're going to say f is equals to users, where it is located. Done. It depends on you, the name of your user or where you put this particular file. If you put it in the same directory, you don't need to use all these ones. Okay. As you can see here is messaging.what. .zip. I just simply copy and paste. But we need to put this either single quote or double quote. Let's use with, instead of with open, we're going to say with zip file. That is this one. We want to deal with this file. What do you want to do? We just want to read it. Let's read it as Z or as any other thing. Okay. So what do you want to do? The first thing I want to do, I want to print the content. And if you want to print the content, simply say this.print directory. If I run this now, I have the information. This is the name, which is this, size, which is this. This is where it was modified. Now let's unzip it. If you come here now, currently it's here. So let's remove it so that this program will help us to zip it. We have to extract all. Now let's run. If I run now, you see that it is not here because of this extract all. This is used to unzip it. This is used to get this content. Okay. And as you can see, it's only this one that is here. All this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Using the attach, find the names of the file, the version of the zips, the size of the compressed and the uncompressed file. So what are we saying here? We're going to first of all zip it together so that you see what we are talking about. And now I'm going to take this and this and put inside the zip. Let's compress. So we have this. So we're going to use this for the two files inside the zip. We want to know the name, the version of the zip we are using, and we need to what? Know the size of the compressed and the uncompressed. Okay. From zip file, import zip file. Then we're going to see this is equals to users. Done. Depends on where it is in your system. Then archive.zip. As you can see, it's archive.zip. Let's continue with zip file, which is this. We need to CF. We need to read what is there. As any other thing you want to do, you can say as file. Say for, we want to run through the whole content. S in file.info list. This info list is used to get all these details. Okay, it's a method in this place. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to get the names of the file. The names of the file. So we're going to say s.filenames. Okay, let's have something to separate them. Okay, let's now print the version of the zip. Okay, let's say zip version. Say zip, that's called version. Depends on you what you want to use. Then let's give a tab to go forward twice. Plus string. Okay, what do you want to do now? We want to know the version of this crate. Or that's called version. Okay, that's the version. Then we print again. We want to know the compressed file size. Okay, we concatenate with the information s.what compressed size. So we need the byte. Okay, plus in byte. Okay, the next one is to print what? The uncompressed. Let me just copy this, put it here. All I need to put now is uncompressed file size. Okay, because it's not compressed, we use file size. If it's compressed, we use compressed size. The same thing. Because we need the separation between the two different files, let's concatenate with what? New line. Let's run. Though we have 4 files here because this one was auto created. So ignore this. Look at it now. The first one is AI Math PDF. We have this. This is the version of the zip. This is the compressed size in byte. Okay, let me just give a space here to make it. Let's run again in byte. You can see this one too. The message in the zip file. You can see the size. On compress, if you compress this particular one, you have the size. If you don't compress it, you have this size. For this one, if you compress it, you have this size. If you don't compress it, you have this size. Just ignore this because this was auto generated. What if you are interested in what? In unzipping the file. So now let's make sure that those files are not here first so that we try to unzip. So what I'm going to do now, let's unzip it. That is this file .extract all. So let me run this now. This information is coming from here. But to unzip it, you need to go and check the folder. As you can see, it is here now. This one is here as well. Okay. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Pico. What is Pico in Python? Pico is a module in Python for object serialization and deserialization. What is serialization? Serialization is the process of converting Python objects such as list, dictionary, and so on and so forth into a character byte stream. The byte stream can then be transmitted through a socket or stored in a file. What is deserialization? It's the opposite of what? Serialization. What are we trying to say? What we are saying is you have something you want to encode and you want to decode. Serialization is a process of what? Encoding Python data, object in Python. After you must have converted them, you store them in a file or you transmit them. When you want to decode, which is opposite of encoding, which is also what called deserialization, you move them from the byte stream to readable data types, such as list, dictionary, and so on and so forth. Let's continue. In Python, serialization is called pickling. Why deserialization is called what? Or pickling. So remember that in Python, instead of using the word serialization, we use pickling. Why deserialization, we use what? Or pickling. The pickle module has two functions for pickling. That is dump and dumps. We are mainly going to use dump in this class. The pickle module also has two functions for or pickling. That is for what? Decoding. For load and what? Loads. We are going to use load. As you can see in this place, the pickle module uses Python specific data format, which makes program written in other languages difficult to decode and encoded pickle data. What it means is that if you want to decode an encoded pickle file in other programming language, it's going to be difficult because pickle uses Python specific data format. In our next class, we are going to what? Practicalize what we have seen. We are going to go through process of pickling and unpickling data in Python. Hope this was informative. Thank you for viewing. Given that ls is equal to this list, show how to pickle, that is serialize the list. This is a list. We are asked to serialize this list. The first thing we need to do is to import pickle. As I said, pickle is a module in Python. So the next thing is to give the location of the file. We want to what? Store this serialized list. So we're going to use open. Then we show the location. Let's assume the name of this file is listfile.txt. This is what we are telling the system, that this is the location of this file. The next thing we need to do now is to tell the system what we want to do. I want to write, in case the file is not available, also create it. That is the work of this W. Then the B means that it's going to be in binary. So what I want to do will be in binary. Okay. So the next thing now is to drop the list. The next thing that follow this is to what? Pickle. What do we want to use to pickle? As I said, we're going to use dump. Not dumps, only dump. Then we're going to give the system again the object we are pickling, which is ls, as you can see here. This is what we are pickling. Then we tell the system that this is the place I want you to put it. Remember, when you finish opening a file, the next thing to do is to close the file. Then we run. As you can see, we did not put this, so that is not okay. Then we enter. Let's check this file to see if what we are saying is correct. This is the file. If you look at it now, this is what it's telling us, that is the binary equivalent of this list. Okay, that is how to pickle. What if you want to deserialize the pickled object? That is, you want to unpickle what is pickled. There is no issue. The only difference between what we have done and unpickling is just for you to put load here. When you put load, you give the system the variable file location. And remember that because you're going to read the file, you have to put arrow here. That is all. Instead of write, we read. Then here we load to unpickle the file. If you are not using Jupyter Notebook, to see what the result is, put print here. If I run this now, I have exactly what was what? Pickled. We are decoding what was encoded. All this understood. Thank you for viewing. Given that D is equals to this, show how to pickle, that is serialize, and unpickle, that is deserialize the dictionary. Remember, the first C is to go for pickle, that is the pickle module. Create a file where the information will be stored. I will need to give the location where the file will be stored. Let's call it ditfile.txt. This is the place it will be. What do you want to do? We want to create it and put binary information there. Now we need to put the object we are trying to pickle. Then we put pickle.dump. Remember, this is the function or the method in pickle to encode this object. And when you open anything, all you need to do is to close it. Then you run. Error. Dump missy argument file. You see, we should have told the system first what to pico, then we give the location where to put what? The information. You run again. If you check for this dict file now, dict file. Look at it here. This is the way Pico encode this dictionary. The next thing we need to do now is to read what is here. Import Pico. Then we need the file. Where is the location of the file? We open the location. Users. Done. Then is dict file. What do we want to do? We want to read it. Read the binary information. That is all. So how do we see what we have done? We need to Pico using the load method. Then we put the file. Once we have done this, you close what you open. Then we run. As you can see, this is exactly what is here. This Pico was able to read what is in this location. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Which other ways, aside dump and load, can we use to Pico and unpico data in Python? That is a very good question. Before I answer such a question, I need to import Pico again. Then I check the directory to show you. Let's look at what is called Picla. See this Picla? I will also show you Picla. See Picla? These are the two other ways you can use to Pico and unpico object in Python. Okay? From Pico, import Picla. I've actually explained this. So the next thing you need to do now is to tell us where you want the information to be. So I want the information to be in the user place. Done. Which name? Let me just use this one as info.txt. What do you want to do still? I want to write to it. What do you want to write? Binary. Then we continue. So which object are you looking at? I'm looking at topo. What should I do with this topo? I want you to encode it using Picla. So we're going to say Picla. Then we put the file. We still use the what? The dump. Then we put the object. Before now, we don't use Picla. But now, Picla is going to come in to work along with dump to help what? Encode this topo. Once you have done that, you close what you opened. Then we enter capital letter, capital letter. This time, let's go and read what is located in this place. Say from Pico, or just simply go ahead and say import Pico. Place here. All I have to do to read it now. So after that now, we need to unpico using Picla. Then we put the location. Then we use the load. Remember, we have to what? Print this. Especially if you are not using Jupyter Notebook. Now let's run. You can see that exactly the topo is returned to us. Because as far as Picla, dump, load, whatever, they are meant to deal with what? Python object. Remember, in Python, everything is object. For instance, if I put, let's say 2 here now, I just simply put a test. Say this is cool. Remember, this is string now. So what we need to do, let's run this. If I go back here now, put 2 here to check what I've written, you see, this is cool. Why? Because even a string is what? An object in Python. So all objects can be pico and unpicoed. Hope this class is informative. Thank you for viewing. What is JSON? How is it used in Python? JSON has been around for several years. It simply means JavaScript object notation. It is syntax used for storing and what? Exchanging data. Okay? You must have come across something like this in curly bracket, where we say, for instance, this is JSON syntax. As you can see, there are data here, information about the school, this person called Mike, and its address and the age. In this class, we are going to see how to bring in JSON data into Python and how to move Python data into JSON. How is it used in Python? If you want to use in Python, you import a module called JSON. Let's see what is in the module. As you can see, we have many things in this module. And the most popular method we are going to use here is the dumps and loads. Remember when we are dealing with Pico, we use dump and load. But here we're going to use DOMs, melee, and loads. One thing you must put at the back of your mind now is, whenever you see this dump, it means you want to dump something. Okay? Remember we're dealing with Pico. We use dump to convert object to binary. If you want to move information in Python format or in Python object to another format, you use dump. That means you want to dump them somewhere. Let this one be at the back of your mind. If you want to bring something in another format to Python, you want to bring it in, you load it to Python. So I'll call this one, if I want to pull my information in Python, I want to convert them, I use dump. It depends on where you are or what you want to do to consider if it's dumps or dump, or load or loads. So if you want to move information now from JSON to Python, you loads. If you want to move information from Python's object to JSON, you what? You dumps.
It's break time. Do you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe to get new videos. Share this video to open new premium videos and ebooks. We'll be a star freelancer.
Given this Python dictionary object, convert to JSON, the first thing we need to do is to import JSON module. So this is a given object in dictionary. Let's say dit equals to this. Or let's just say this equals to this. The next thing now is to use dumps to move this information from this format to JSON format. And to do that, let's say J is equals to JSON.dumps, which I've actually explained. Then we put D. The next thing we're going to do is to print the J to see the result. Sorry, we're supposed to use small letter. And this is the way it is in what? In JSON. Given this JSON, convert to Python object. So if you want to do this, first of all, you import JSON. The next thing you need to do now is to bring in this information. And we're going to call it J equals to this. And the only thing that will tell us that this is JSON, it must be inside what? Quotation mark. This one. Okay? This to let us know that this is not what? Dictionary. If you remove this, it's dictionary. Unless you put this, that makes it what? Dictionary. If you put this now, it's now what? In JSON. The next thing we need to do now is to pull this information from JSON to Python. And if you want to do that, you load. What are you loading? I'm loading J. Then we run. Okay, let me just move it to this. Okay. The issue was the enter here. If you enter like this, if you run, you have error. You enter. You click return to break this to a new line. Okay. Now we can run this. P now is with this information. How do we know if P has this in Python object? Let's print P. You see? Now let's see the type of object that this is. Let's say type. What is P? See dictionary. What are the objects in Python that are serializable from Python to JSON? You can do down to list. Dictionary is allowed. Tuple is allowed. Integer is allowed. String is allowed. Float is allowed. It's allowed. False is allowed. Even none is allowed. You cannot do that to set. Set is not allowed. It's out of it. And others. So as far as these are concerned, they are allowed. Let's demonstrate this. If I import JSON, then I want to see if I can use DOMs to move the first one. Let's do this to see what was there before. Now I need to get, okay, let me use this one now. Let's start with list. Okay, for list, let's just make it simple. Can this be done? Let's run. No error. You can see with this now, it means that this is now what? In JSON. Okay. Let's also try this for, next one is dictionary. The dictionary, we have to do this. There's a dictionary. The first thing, let's just use A, make it simple, 1. Then just another one, B is okay. 2, okay. Let's run this. See? This is what? in JSON. Okay. Now the next one we need to check is topo. Okay. What is a topo? A topo is where you wrap in curly bracket. You can put anything inside now. Let's run and see. Yes. When you dump it now, it comes in this format. Okay, which other one? The integer, something like this, an integer, of course. This now in JSON. Let's continue. String. Let's try string. String is this. We run on exactly. With this, it means acceptable. We are dumping them in what? In JSON. Let's check for the next one. That is a float. And what is a float? A float is something like this. 8.9. It's a float. It's allowed. Let's say 10.1. It's allowed. Okay. Let's check for true. Okay, let's just put true here. See? Acceptable. Let's put false here. Acceptable. Let's put none here. Acceptable. Now let's put a set. This is a set. Why is this a set? Just put all these inside a curly bracket. Remember, curly bracket is used for two data types. The set and dictionary. If for dictionary, you must have what? The key value pair, which is key, the value. But if it's set, just have all this inside curly bracket. Let's run this and see. See, big error. It's not allowed. Object of type set is not JSON serializable. Okay? As you can see, these are what are allowed to move from Python object type to JSON. How would you make a JSON data readable after converting from Python object to JSON? Look at this. After converting from Python to JSON, you might have something like this. And you agree with me that this is not readable. Okay? But this, the same thing is readable. If I am given this dictionary, I am asked to convert it to JSON. Let's first of all see what will happen. You see, it's not readable. If you want this readable, simply come to this place, use ardent. How do you want to indent it? You can say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's use 5. You see, the way it came out from this place is different from this one. You can see now is in a readable format. If I remove this again, run this, see, run, see, hope this understood. Thank you for viewing. What if you don't want the comma as a separator? What would you do to change it, say, semicolon? Look at this. We indent, we have this. Now, I don't want this comma. And this comma is called what? Separator. There is another parameter in DOMs you can use to tell Python what you want. So I want Python to change the separator. The first one, the comma, please change it to semicolon. After you told the system this, then you have to also tell the system what you want about this column. Because you want to use separator, you must give two values here. Instead of this, let's put, you see, instead of the equal to, okay, before this, let me come here. Let me just show you what it was before so that you appreciate what we are doing. Let me run this. You see, here, this is what we had before. Instead of this, we have this now. And instead of this, we have what? Semicolon. You can even change here to full stop. You can change it to equal to if you want. You can run this now. You see? You can even do whatever you want to do. If you double you want. If here now, for instance, you just want, let's say this. You can run it. Depends on you. If you try to use one, for instance, say I only want to change this, not the other one. You see an error? See? How many? Not enough value to unpack. You need to, got one. Got one here. Needed 2. You run again, you have this. Hope you understand this. Thank you for viewing. I don't like the way the result is sorted. What would you do to sort the output from Python to JSON? What we are saying is this. You have this. You see, I want the car country before this. They should be sorted for me in alphabetical order. You agree with me that year is after every other thing here. So we need to sort the key. How would you do that? You simply come to this place again, another parameter called sort, underscore keys. We want to sort the keys. Python knows what you want to do. Let's run now. As you can see, now car, country, then year. Sorted everything for me. So whenever you want Python to sort your output while converting, simply what? Use sort keys in DOMs. All this understood. Thank you for viewing. Given the JSON data as below, convert to Python objects. These are the given JSON data. We are asked to convert to what? Python object. All we have to do is to import JSON. Then we come to this place. So we're going to call this one plist. That means we are moving from P now to Python now. JSON. Remember, if you are moving to Python, you simply what? You load. So we need to correct something here first. Here we have a string. What made this one a string is because of this that is already here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, let's use this for the string. Then we're going to use this to show that what? It is what? JSON. Otherwise we have error. Let's run this now. As you can see, we'll have all this. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Given the data in member file.json, generate a new JSON file from it without the last name information. This is the file we are talking about, members file.json. You are given all this information. We need to get another file, which you might call member file/new. But what we want to get is, we don't want this last name information. They all should be removed. Then you get a new file without this information. So we need to edit it and get a new file, but this should not be destroyed. So what are you going to do? The first thing we need to do is to import JSON. Remember we were doing opening of files. We use with. Okay. So we first of all need to open this file. After we open the file, we read it first. And to do that, give the location of this file. It's called members underscore file.json. With this, it means we want to read. So we don't need to put any mode. It means we want to read it. We open as F. So if you open as F, we want you to load this into a variable. Let's call that variable member data equals to JSON.load. Why? Because this is already in JSON. We want Python to read it. And for Python to read it, we say load, not loads. Then we put F here. That is the file. So this F now is representing this. The next thing is we use the for loop inside this place because everything is loaded here now for what? Anything you want to put. I say S, whatever. So me, I will just say for member, I can put anything there in where? In this location. Okay. As you can see, this is the file. Everything is loaded in this place. And to tell the system that we are talking about these guys, we need to use the general name, which is members. Why is it like this? Because sometimes this particular file can have other information, like we say, okay, for instance, users. Then we change all these names. To tell the system that we need this first one, we have to tell the location, not users. Okay? Let me undo. That is the reason. Don't say, okay, but it's only member that is here. Why should we use member again? No. There are sometimes we have millions of what? Headers. Now let's take this now as members. We put in this place. to know that we are referring to that part of the file. Then we continue. When you are reading it, there's something I want you to do for me where you are going through. Because when it's going through now, for instance, I can ask it to print so that you know what I'm talking about. Print what? Print when you get to the first name or the last name you want to delete. Let's say last name. Print that for me. Let me run. You see, these are the information of the last names. Last name, Mike, Ma, and Victor. If I want to have access to, say, the first name, for instance, see the first name. What about the age? The age. So if I come here and I say delete for me, the last name, the system knows that this member should search, because this member now is moving around this first name or the first name or the last name. Depends on what you put here. All the last names. Delete them for me. If you delete now, you will not find them here again. You will not find them here. But I don't want to just delete, but I want a new file to be created. So that's why I'm going to do this now. I will say with open. See, let me come to this place so that I don't need to waste my time, but I need a new, let me say newest file, different from this file. What do you want to do here? I want to write into it as F. Remember this F ends here. So you can use F multiple times if you want. So this F and this F are not the same. So I come to this place now. I will say JSON.dump. Remember dump mean I want to throw in, I want to convert to JSON now. I want to dump this information to JSON. So what am I going to do now? The first thing that will be here, if you remember, is the location of the information, which is this place. Remember, the reason for this is because in this place, something has been deleted from member data, which is this place. This member data at this point has last name, but at this point, the last name is deleted. So that's what we are loading into this place now. Take this information, but the file I want you to put them is this file, and this file is represented by F. Let me just put F2. I also want to indent. So now, the next thing you should be asking me now, why dump? Why not dumps? Dump because of what we are doing here. Remember, JSON has both dumps and dump. Let me show you. If you check here now, we have dump and dumps. So this is the work of what? Dump. So if you want to print on the screen, whatever you want to do, put S. But remember, there's file here now. We are dealing with file. Use what? Dump. Same thing go with load and loads. If we run this now, okay, now let's go back and look for this in the directory. If we go to this place now, we see new S. Okay, let me open. As you can see, this is different from where we started from. This was the original file. You can see last name here. This new S JSON file has no last name. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What is regular expression? Let me show you something. Look at this string. Assume we say string is equals to, this is a lovely programming language. I want to search some pattern. Assume you want to search all the A in this place, or the I, or there's a pattern you want to search. We use regular expression. It is not a data type, but a module in Python. And to import that module, you simply say import reg, mean regular expression. Okay? Assume I want to find just A here now, all the A in this place. What I need to do, I will simply use this regular expression, say S equals to what I'm searching, array dot find all. I'm going to explain everything later. Then I want to find all the A in this string. This is the string. I want to find all the A in the string. Then I run. If I print S, so I run this now, and then I run this. If I print this out, you see I have what? The first A, this is the A. Another A is here, which is this A. Another A is here, which is this A. There is another A, which is this A. I can find the E's. Okay, if I run this, you see, only 2 E's. We have different ways of doing this. We have what we call the meta characters, which are special characters, like something like this is a special character, like the backslash is a character, the dot is a character, the asterisk is a character. We are going to look at this in details in our next class. Thank you for viewing. How would you search for any character in the string? Okay, assume this is our string. You want to search for any character. Any character means any character except a new line. That is, this is a character. That is, this space is a character. Even this is a character. 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 Any character. This is a character. This is a character. Any character. So now, if you want to do this in regular expression, let's first of all run this. We say import array, then let's say s equals to array.find all. To show that you are searching for any character, use what? Dot. Dot represent any character. Then we say what? We have to search it in this what? Variable. Let's print x to see the result. You are confused? You shouldn't be confused. As you can see, the system is telling you that when I look at this, it's a character. I look at this, is a character. That's why you are seeing it here. I look at this, E is a character. See? I look at the empty space, it's also a character. See this place? Okay. Even this one, let me jump, it's a character. This, as you can see, is also a character. Or the empty spaces, they are what? Empty characters. You can see them? They are what? Empty characters. Even the plus is a character. This is a character. So to find any character, you use what? Dot. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. How would you search for character or characters that starts a string or end a string? Look at this. We'll be using this one from now on to do our work. We import the regular expression, the module. This is the string we are working with. This is the module. This is the method we use to find what we want to find. They want to find start with or end with. You agree with me that this start with T. You can also say start with TH. You can say start with THE. You can say start with what? THE and this space. So if I put something like this now, for instance, I say start with. How to represent start with? You use this sign. You put this here. Remember there is space. You're going to see that if we print match, we run it, it's telling us that it's true. That actually this start what? This particular string. Okay. Let me also go back to put this one here. I put 1, I put this one 2. I put this one 2. Match 1 and match 2. I put this one as 2. This one will be ends with, and to say end with, okay, it means you're going to check here now. You find that it ends with, you can say it ends with D or ND or AND or TAND. Let's just put this one, okay. Ends with, you want to represent that, simply use what? The dollar sign, okay. Because it's ends with, remember this one is start with. It goes to the beginning, but here this will go to the end. If I put it like this, let's run again. You see, for start with, we have this correct. To hence with is correct. Even if you remove this, you agree with me that it still hence with what? This. It's still correct. If I run this, you can see I'm still correct. Even if I remove this guy, I remove this guy. If I run this, I'm still correct. It starts with T, it ends with D. Okay? Even if you pick this one from here to this place, for instance, you agree with me, you are still in line. And you pick this one, for instance, from here to here. See, hence with this particular string, you are still correct. If we run this now, they agree that it's true. But assume you don't want to do it like this. Okay, oh, I want to check for some other thing to see if it starts with K or this one ends with F. You see, we have nothing in this result. Hope this understood. From here, we go for the next ones. What if you want to find a 0 or more occurrence of a character or group of characters? What is the meaning of that? Before I explain, let me put this here. You know everything that is here. Import the string we are working with. This is the program to search or to find. Then we print. If you want to find, for instance, I'm going to remove this for now. Let me put something like AA run. I know I should put capital letter A first, but let me put it like this for example purpose. I want to find either 0 or 1 occurrence or more occurrence of A. So I will put A here now. If I need 0 or more occurrence of A, what it means is that either we see A here, we are right. Even if you don't have A, we are still correct. That is 0 occurrence. For instance, as it is here, only one A here is 1 occurrence. This is 0 occurrence. It's still correct because we don't have A there. This is 1 occurrence. This is what? 2 occurrence. And we said 0 or more occurrence. To do that, you simply use what? The asterisk. This asterisk is a meta character looking for the 0 occurrence of what? Of A. And remember, this meta character is being applied on what? On this. Right to left. To the nearest character. Okay? If we run this now, see what we get? We have what? AA. That is 2 occurrence. When it gets to arrow, you say arrow is not A, but this says 0 occurrence. Agrees. 0 occurrence. It go for O, say O. O is not A, but that is 0 occurrence of A. And so on and so forth. Okay? If I remove this now, you see that if I run, it's okay. I saw the 1 occurrence, just 1 occurrence. And as far as this one is concerned, it's okay. This is okay. This is okay. These are all 0 occurrence. What about this? It's talking about everything. Okay, everything put together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Okay? What if you wanted to find 1 or more occurrence of a character or group of characters? Remember the first one we used for this was 0 or more occurrence. For this one, it's a 1 or more. That means at least 1. It's a must you have 1 occurrence of what? A. If you use this example, 1 occurrence of A before that pattern can be accepted. And to represent it, we use what? Plus instead of asterisk. If I run this, see, it say I have 1 occurrence, 2 occurrence. It picks only this. Or like this, that gave us this result. We say, okay, 0 or more occurrence is right. This 0 occurrence, 0 occurrence, 0 occurrence. It's okay. But this guy, it must be 1. If I run again, you see. Now let me remove this. Still 1 occurrence. It's okay. If I remove everything, you see there will not be anything returned. But if I put asterisk here now, it will return something. But empty because 0 occurrence. Remember? 0 or more occurrence, 0 or more occurrence, 0 or more occurrence. He gave it to us and everything here, 0 or more occurrence. But if you put plus here now, it must be at least 1. At least 1. Let me include it back. If I run this, I have this. Okay. What if I come back now? Let me drop this here. If I run this on this, you see, here, there is no occurrence. You find an occurrence here, 1 occurrence, another occurrence, another occurrence, another occurrence. See? That's why it's picking one after the other, one after the other. Okay? You can broaden this, for instance. Okay, assume you are looking for way, this way now. W here, you put Y here. Let's run. You see? What happened? It took W. This one must have 1 occurrence. Remember, these two are the one working together. This plus is working with only this. It's not working with W. So if find 1 occurrence of A, then continue looking for this guy. Okay, now let me put something like double A here now for this guy. You will see that this one will also be captured. Let's run first. You see it's captured. This one is captured. Remember, this one is capital letter, so it was not captured. Why was this one captured? Because this one accepts an occurrence, which is 1 occurrence or more occurrence. This more occurrence of what? A. Okay? More occurrence of A. What if you want to search for like EA? That occurrence must be there, for instance. You say, I want at least 1 occurrence of that. We can do it together. Let's do it. That is EA. I want this occurrence. Now, if you want this plus now, the plus, which is 1 or more occurrence to add on these 2, you put these guys in bracket. Then you put the plus here. Okay? That means this plus will work with these 2. Either 1 occurrence of EA or more occurrence of. If we run this, you see, we have the occurrence here. We also have the occurrence here. We also have what? The occurrence in this place. So it's no longer acting on only one, it's acting on these two. You can do like this. If you want to insist now that after this occurrence, either one or two occurrences, for instance, if I pick this for instance, I put it somewhere here. Let me put two of it here. 1, 2. It will take it because this is one occurrence, this is second occurrence. If I run this now, you see, it breaks it down. One occurrence, another occurrence. Okay? Accepted. But assume you wanted everything here, the occurrence you are looking for, one of these or many. That means this one will not be considered because this is the occurrence it's looking for. If I run this now, you see, it's only that one it's looking for. Okay? So you can do what you want to do. Assume, for instance, again, if you want to put, okay, I need C here now. If you put C here now, remember, the reason why I'm putting C here is because I am not seeing this guy. I am not seeing this guy. I'm not seeing this guy. What I'm seeing this and this. The reason why this one is here is because it's acting on top of these guys. If I run this, you see, only one will find the one with what? Teaches. The one with what? Teaches was found. Okay? That's the only one that was found. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. In the given string, find Python or way or understand. We need to find this or this very one or this very understand if they exist in this place. Okay, so let's drop this. If you want to find something like this, you are not sure, this or this or this, simply use what? The Py. You say Python. This how to check for, or if you want to check if this is here or this is there, you use what? Or. If we run this, you see it agrees that they are there. If I put another thing, for instance, let me say or I also put something like hello. You agree with me? There is no or in this place. There is no hello in the string, as you can see. So if we run this now, you find it's only this guy that are there that are shown in this place. You can also search for two if you want to search for only two. If you run now, it's okay. Python and way are there. If I put ways here now, which is not in this place, you find that what? It is not there. This is how to find options. If this is there, if that one is there, or if this is there. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. How would you find the exact number of occurrences? What is that? Let's go back to this place. You agree with me that if I have, let me remove this. If I have this, if I want a situation whereby I want where it occurs once, I will simply say this once. Remember before we say 0 or more occurrences, 1 or more occurrences. Now we are looking for exact occurrence, just exact one occurrence of A. So you pick all the A. What if I want AA? If I want this guy, remember before now, this applied on only A. If I want AA, for instance, I can put this. That's to say, I want this guy to act on this. I want a situation of AA. See, it's picking this, and so on and so forth. What if I have, let me remove this first. Let me put 3 here. None. That means 1, 2. That is the maximum we can get here. So let's put 2 here. As I put, it said, yes, I found this occurrence twice in a place, which is this place. Okay? What about AH, for instance? That is to say this is also here, is also here, and so on and so forth. If I put 1 here, you see what will happen now? You see many of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is here, 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 and here. What if I say I want this type of occurrence? If I run, there are, this is there, this is there. What if I want this occurrence? I'm still correct. But if I say I want 2, look at what will happen. Where is that? 1, then 2. So there's one of them there. Okay? And so on and so forth. This is looking for what? Exact occurrence. Exact occurrence. If I write something like this here, let's say this. It's okay. I'm looking for 1, 2. But Exactly 2 occurrences of 2. That is the meaning of this. 2 occurrences of 2. None. But if I put 2 here now, this is 2 twice. That means this one close to this guy. Remember, this is no longer in this bracket. I remove that bracket. Okay. So this now is applicable to 2. Only 2. So I'm saying I want a situation whereby 2 is 2. That means 2, 2. Close together, which is only this. That is why if I run this, I'm having what? This guy gave me this and also include this. Okay? Assume that this one is not there. See what will happen now? None. Because although it saw 2, 2 here, even this one is 2, 2, but the next one is not 1. But if I remove this one now, yes, of course, you can see that this is 2, 2. You're going to use this one, it's also 2, 2. See? 2, 2 is there. Okay? If I put 3 here now, say, okay, I want 23. But this 23, this 3 must be 2. Because of this 2, okay? This 3 must be 2. This is just 1. Because this is applicable to only this. If I run this, no. Because this is just 1. But if I put 1 here now, remember, because this one is 1, therefore this 2 will go. This one represents this. This one is only 1, which is we want 1, 3. That is the meaning. We want 1, 3. If I run this now, you see we have 33. Okay? If you have similar situation somewhere here, for instance, 23, you agree with me that because is this one is 1, then 2. 1, then 2. You see? Give them to me. Okay? What if I say I want 4 occurrence of 1? Okay? 4 occurrence of 1. It's not there. But if I come to this place and make it 4, you agree with me? It's correct. But if I say, okay, aside that, I want something to be here, like 2, then this will not be correct anymore. If I run this, it's not, because although 4 ones are here, 1, 2, 3, 4, but this 2 is not here. Unless I put 2 here now, then this 2 will work for this. Then this one, we need 4 of it, which is this 4 of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I run this now, we have exactly this, how to find it. Exact number of occurrences. Hope this understood. Thank you for viewing. If you want regular expression to help search for white space and non-white space, what would you do? Look at this. As far as this is concerned, this is a character. It's not a white space. This is not a white space. This is not a white space. But here we have a white space. If you look at this, we have how many white space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Okay? For instance, you have www.school.com. You don't want white space here. This is handy. You can simply ask regular expression to check for white space in this place. How do you search for white space? If it contains white space or not? We use some sequence called special sequence in Python, other regular expression. And for you to use them, you must use the backslash with them. This with a character, and that character here is S. So if you combine this and this, it means you are searching for white space. Let's see. Yeah, there's white space. If you remove this white space now, run again, there is none. For you to see this, if I put another one here now, that means how many are they? They are 3 now. So, you see, you can do this. Once you find them, you can tell the system to remove them before you use this string. Very handy. Now, what if you want to search for non-white space? There's no white space here. This is not a white space. It will be captured. This will be captured, will be captured, will be captured, will be captured. To do that, simply put what? Capital letter S with backslash. If I run this, you see, all of them are captured because they are not all what? White spaces. How would you find every word and non-word character in this? The first thing you should ask yourself before we continue is, what is the meaning of word character? And what is the meaning of non-word character? A word character, a character from A to Z, from 0 to 9, including what? The underscore. As you can see in this place, these are all word character. This is a non-word. This a non-word, a non-word. These are all word character. If you have a space here, for instance, it's a non-word character. Remember, A to Z, 0 to 9, or the underscore. We have this. How do you do that? Use a combination of what? Backslash and small letter W. This one will help us get what? The word character. That is all this one. If we run this, you see, all these word character were captured. If I come here now, I put capital letter W. That means I'm telling the system that I'm looking for non-word characters. If I run this, you see the word that are captured, all these ones. You can see this is captured. This dot are all captured. Okay? Because of this, don't look at this place. If you want us to put a space, you can put space so that you will not be confused. If I run this, you see, if I put a space here, I run again now, you see the space is recognized as what? A non-word character. But that is not what the question asks us to do. I just brought it in to explain something. Okay, let's run this again. We run this again. You see the non-word character and word character. These are to search for them with backslash, small letter W, backslash, capital letter W. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. How would you find every digit and not digit in a string? How would you find digits and not digits in a string? Okay, let's run with this. As you can see, there is no digit here. If you want to find a digit, you simply put backslash, small letter D. If I run this now, no capture. But if I put 4 here, put 7 here, for instance, if I run this, I captured only the digit. For instance, I put 23 here, I put this here, you find that what? All of them will be captured one after the other. But if I want to find non-digit, strictly non-digit, I put capital letter D. That is to say, this is a non-digit, this is a non-digit, this is a non-digit, this is a non-digit, underscore is a non-digit, this is a non-digit. If I run now, you see, all of them, both the white spaces, all these white spaces, these letters, the underscores, all these were all captured because they are non-digits. For that, you use this. If you are looking for the digits, you run this. You wish to search for a pattern at the beginning or at the end of a word. What would you do? If you look at this is at the beginning of this word, but it is not at the beginning of this word. Teaches, but it is here. If you want to search for this type of pattern at the beginning of a word, you simply put backslash B. What do you want to search for now? I want to search for EA. Means at the beginning of a word. I run. Okay? One thing you should know is that if you run like this, sometimes you might not have the result because this is very strict. It must make sure that what you are dealing with is a raw string. Let's first of all run it like this. See, there is no match. But you agree with me that this is a match because this is at the beginning of this word. So you put arrow here now to convert this to what? Raw string. That is the work of this. It's not part of the regular expression. If I run this now, you see, captured it. Okay. Making sure that what? It's a raw what? String you are dealing with. Okay. What if we want to search at the end of a word? At the end. You agree with me that this understand and is at the end. Okay. And is at the end. If I put something like and here now, let me put this one at the beginning. And KE, but we have and in this word, understand. If we put here now, and the end means you put and, then you put this and the end, meaning and the end. Looking for this particular word and the end. Let me run without using the raw string. Cannot. If I put the wrong string, which is very important, you see, you saw this and this both at the end of this and this. So if you want to search for a particular character at the beginning or at the end of a word, use this. I can put 2 here now. Let me put 2 here again at the end. If I run, captured it. Okay, even though we have 2 here, for instance, at the beginning, have 2 here at the beginning, these ones will not be captured. You see, but if we want set for those at the beginning, we simply put this particular one at the beginning. That is telling the system that is the beginning I'm looking at. If we run this, we have many of them now. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. You wish to search for a pattern that is present but not at the beginning nor at the end of a word. So what would you do? There's a pattern you are interested in. It could be this pattern as well, but this time you are looking for it. You don't want it to be at the beginning of a word, or you don't want it to be at the end of a word. So let's start with the beginning. That is to say /B. That means I'm looking for this word, which is and, but I don't want it to be at the beginning. Remember, if I put small letter b here now, it means that I want this guy to look for and at the beginning. So the opposite of that is this, not at the beginning. So you agree with me that those that are not at the beginning, this and this. Okay. If I run this now, we have those 2, which is also equivalent to putting this here with small letter b, not at the beginning. And aside that, if I put this add now, for instance, here inside, and inside here, I put and inside here. Let's search. Remember, this one means not at the beginning. There are 4 now, you see. Although they are in between, neither at the beginning nor at the end. The same thing with this, but they were still what? Captured. So this one means not at the beginning. What of not at the end? Not at the end is this. And that is not at the end. That means we are not going to see all this one anymore, because they are what? At the end. If we run this, we have this. And these are not at the end. This is not at the end. This is not at the end. This is not at the end. So those were the ones that were captured. Okay. Like for instance, EA. I'm looking for EA, but as you can see, not at the end. If I have EA here now, this will not be captured. If I run this, it's only those ones that are not at the end that were captured, which is this. That's 1, 2, not at the end. This, and also this, that's not what at the end. So to search for pattern not at the end, you do this. Not at the beginning, then you do this. Not at the beginning, let's run to. We still have same thing, not at the beginning, meaning not at the beginning, not at the beginning, not at the beginning. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. You have been dealing with words. What if you want to check for a pattern at the beginning or end of a string? This is a word. There's a word. But the string is the beginning after this first quotation mark to the end of this. Okay? So if we have beginning, this is the beginning of this string. This is the end of the string. So I'm going to get another cell. Let me remove this. Then I will use this. I'm going to get another 2 cell. I put this. The first 2 we deal with beginning of a string. To do that, simply put backslash. Then you put capital letter A. This one means the beginning of a string. Remember, we are dealing with string, not just a word. If I want D, which is this, let me search for it. Say I'm correct. Remember, you can also put R here just to make sure that this is a raw string. Okay. If I remove it from here, for instance, I still continue with the same pattern. I run this, you see it's not correct anymore. Now let's look at the end of a string. This is at the end of the string. Let's just use this at the end of the string. I'm searching for that. But if it is the end, you put /Z, capital letter Z. Remember, ABC start with A, it ends with what? Z, the alphabet. So the alphabet starts with A and it ends with Z. So that's what we are looking at. Beginning, remember alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F. It means that beginning of the entire alphabet is A and the end of the entire alphabet is Z. That's why we are using capital letter A and capital letter Z. So if you run this now to check if this is actually at the end of this string, you run, correct. You can also use arrow, same thing. If you look at this now, it's correct. But if you come to this place, let's use the same code to search for it here. But this time we're going to remove it to make sure what we are doing is correct. We are looking for this at the end of the string. To run this now, it's not there. Hope you understand this. If you want to get a pattern at the end of a string, it's not necessarily mean that it must be alphabet. You can put this like this, this. So if I ask for it now, let me search for this to here, for instance, here. You agree with me that you are looking for trouble. Why? Because these are special in regular expression. To show that you don't want to use them, you can escape them, you escape them. Now run again, they are available now. Means if you see this, it means I don't want to use this one as what? A special character in regular expression. Neither do I want to use this meta character. They will not be available for search. Okay? What if I just remove these guys? I do for 343. You agree with me? 343. If I run this, it's there. That's not a problem because these are not special character or metadata in regular expression. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. If you want regular expression to help search for white space and non-white space, what would you do? Look at this. As far as this is concerned, this is a character. It's not a white space. This is not a white space. This is not a white space. But here we have a white space. If you look at this, you have how many white space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Okay? For instance, you have www.school.com. Don't want white space here. This is handy. You can simply ask regular expression to check for white space in this place. How do you search for white space? If it contains white space or not? We use some sequence called special sequence in Python, other regular expression. And for you to use them, you must use the backslash with them. This with a character, and that character here is S. So if you combine this and this, it means you are searching for white space. Let's see. Yeah, there's white space. If you remove this white space now, run again, there is none. For you to see this, if I put another one here now, that means how many are they? They are 3 now. So you see, you can do this. Once you find them, you can tell the system to remove them before you use this string. Very handy. Now, what if you want to search for non-white space? There's no white space here. This is not a white space. It will be captured. This will be captured, will be captured, will be captured, will be captured. To do that, simply put what? Capital letter S with backslash. If I run this, you see, all of them are captured because they are not all what? White spaces. You are required to find A or G or E in this string. Python is a lovely programming language. Okay, so the first thing we need to do now is to import array. Then we put a string. The next thing now is to design the program array.findOr. Then we tell the system to get it from this place string. Then we come back to this place to say we need this set of character A, G, E. Okay? Either A or G or E. That's the meaning of this. Each of them. We need to also print. So let's run now. You see, all these are all there. Assume we put, say, 7 here now. We know 7 is not actually here. That means we are not going to see 7 in our result. Hope this understood. Thank you for viewing. If you want to find any lowercase and or uppercase of the alphabet, what would you do? Look at this. If you are looking for any lowercase, use this square bracket, but tell the system A to Z. That means any lowercase. Uppercases, you run like this. You can see here, it's only P that is uppercase here. If you make this one love now, for instance, you make this one L. These are uppercase. If you run them now, see that these are the only uppercases between A and Z in this string. What if you want to find both the upper and the lower cases together? You can simply say A to Z, then this to this. This one goes for all the lower cases. Why this one goes for what? The upper cases. If you run this now, you see everything is captured. But remember, if you have this like this, which are not part of alphabet, they will not be here. If I run this now, you see, they are not here. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. You are given this set of numbers and asked to create a regexpress to find them in a string. What would you do? Okay, let's see. If these are the set of numbers, this is where the magic will take place. All you have to do to get this pattern, you go for the first digit. The fourth digit, what is the smallest among the first digit? As you can see, this is 2534. Among this first digit, what is the maximum? That is 5. Okay, you are done with the first digit. The second digit, the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 7. This is how to do it. If you run this now, you see you capture all of them. Assume you have like 89, 67, 91. You find that those one will not be captured. It's only this one that are captured. If you actually want to include this, it means that among the 4 digit now in this new arrangement, 2 is still the minimum and the maximum is 9. And among the last digit, the minimum is still 0 and the maximum here now is 9. So if you run this one again, you see everything is captured. This is how to what? Create a regexpress to capture this type of digit, double digit in this pattern. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. You are given this set of numbers and asked to create a regex to find them in a string. What would you do? You simply say import. This place is where the magic will take place. As you can see, they are group of 3. This is 1 digit group, 2 digit group, and then 3 digit groups. So the way to separate them, we separate this group with the pipe, which is all. Okay, so this place contains the first digit group, and because it's only just 5, just put the 5 there. Unless if there was another 1 digit, then we cannot start thinking. For this group, as you can see, 20 and for the first digit is between 2 and what? 3. 2 and 3. Then for the second digit is between 0 and 4. Okay. Then we go for the other one. These were 3. So we need to have 3 square brackets. This first one will take care of the first digit between, that is 3, 9, 6. That is between 3 and 9. This one is 8, 7, and 7. That is between 7 and 8. And this guy is 2, 4, 3. That is between 2 and 4. If we run this now, let's print what we are going to get. Match. We run this, everything is captured. This is captured, this is captured. And if you put something like this now, which is 4, you can't capture this. You only capture 23 because of this. And because of this one. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Python datetime. In Python, we have a module called datetime, which you can import to do anything related to date at time. It is not a data type, that you should note. If you want to use it, simply say import date time. I check what's inside by say date time. Then we run. And as you can see, you see that we have all this. In our next class, we are going to look at how to deal with dates. We create date object and work with challenges related to date time. Hope this is okay. Thank you for viewing. How would you check if you want to know the correct date? As I said, first import date time. Then you simply use inside this date time. There is a method called datetime, which has now method. Okay, you can use this to check. If I put this as a print, I can run it. It's telling me this is the date, this is the time. Also, you can also assign this if you prefer. You can assign this to a variable. Let's say variable t for time. Then you print the variable. This is how to check using now. So people might say, okay, import date time as t, or let's say as dt. You can put dt here now, so that you know that this is different from this. You can still run it like this. Same results. Thank you for viewing.
It's break time. Do you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe to get new videos. Share this video to open new premium videos and ebooks. We'll be a star freelancer.
What if you want to format the datetime output to a readable string? As you can see, this is the year, this is the month, this is the day, this is the hour, this is a minute, the seconds, and the microseconds. Okay? Sometimes you want this to be readable. For instance, you want to know the weekday that this particular date fall into. Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? Is it Thursday? Is it Friday? Is it Saturday? Is it Sunday? Which weekday? You may want to know. Either in abbreviated format or in full. There's a method in datetime we use for that. And that method is called strf time. That is to say, strf time. This is the method. How do you use it? Simply use it. I put what they want. In case, for instance, I want the weekday in full, I simply say this percentile. Then I put A. This is you to get what? The weekday. Okay. But it must run on top of this output. The output T. Okay. So we put this in double quote or single quote. If I run this now, it's telling me that what? This was Saturday. Okay. This is what? Saturday. That this particular time is Saturday. If I wanted this to be in abbreviated format, I put small letter A. If I run this, is what? Sat. Remember, I can use it because when I imported this module, this method came with it. Okay. What if I want to know the day of the month? Like this, just only this 20th. That is the day of the month. I will simply use small letter d. See? 20th. If I want to know, for instance, only the month, this particular month, put M here. That's 03. If I want to know the only year, just the year, I simply put what? Capital letter Y here. Or if I put small letter y, you expect that we are going to have 21, the shorter version of 2021. If you want to know this month, is it January, February, is it March? Simply put what? Capital letter B. Says March. You want to know which weekdays? You simply put what? Small letter W. Say 6. That is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is 6. If you want to get the hour part, this hour part, you use capital letter H. And if you put high here, you have what? 07. You know, we have this format of when you have like 2 p.m. as 14, okay? Or you have it as 2 in p.m. So if you put H here, capital letter, you have it as 19. But if you put I here, you have the other format showing is 7. As 7 plus 12, you know is what? 19. Is this a PM or AM? You simply ask the system by putting P, small letter P. You say what was PM. And if you want to know this minute side of it, the minute, you put what? Capital letter M. And if you want to know the second side of it, you put capital letter X. If you want to know the microseconds part of it, you put, if you want to know the time zone, put what? Z. If it's UTC, if it's EST, depends. You put what? Z. and so on and so forth. So we have this method to format your datetime to a readable format. For instance, if you want to display everything in detail, okay, instead of showing it in this format, in a more readable format, I can put C here to have it as Saturday, March is 2021. If you want to have it the other format, you can put it like this, have 03 instead of this format, 2021. And if you put here a capital letter, that means you want to go for what? The time side of it. If you run this, you have the time side of this. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. You have this date you wish to include in your program. How would you include it? To include it, you import the datetime. This datetime module has a constructor we call datetime as well, which we have used before. This is a datetime. Let me show you the directory. Look at it. This, to do that, simply say, let's assign it to a variable datetime, which is this guy, dot the constructor, which is date time. Then you put the parameter 2023 321. Let's print the object. You see what we have? This will be the output when you use this in your program. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. You need to remove 12 days from the current date. How would you do it? To do that, simply say import datetime. Then you are going to do two things. Let's say the correct date is C. This equals to datetime dot now. Okay, we now say dot date, because we need only the date. To remove days from a date, we use a particular method called time data. Can I say, okay, you want to remove what? 12 days, but it cannot run alone. It must run from this date time. Okay, we now give this to what? R. So we say R is equals to date. That means remove. Then we print the result by saying the current date minus 12 days. We have this. So if you look at this, if I put C here, for instance, and we have that this is the correct date. We remove 12 days. You agree with me? If you remove 12 from here, you have what? 8. Okay? Remember, we use this module, call this guy, use the now, then we run date on it. Okay? Just to have what? This. Okay, now. Another thing you can do if you want to do it in another format, you can simply say from datetime import date. See, import also time data. That is this from this. Then you use this two to say C is equals to date dot today. Okay, go further to say R is equals to time data. Okay, minus 12 days. Okay, C minus R. Let's run this. You can see what is the same thing. Either of them you can use. Thank you for viewing. How would you write a Python program to get the date of today, tomorrow, a day after tomorrow, and yesterday? Let's look at the solution. The first thing you need to do, you're going to import two things, date and time data. This date will give you for today's date, because today's date can be got from here. This is a method inside this date for today's date. And you agree with me that to get tomorrow's date, you have to add 1 to today's date. And to do that, you can't just do that in this format like you say +1. You can't say +1. You have to use this time data to add 1 or to remove. Then you agree with me that day after tomorrow, you need 2 days to add to today's date. Okay? Then yesterday, you just need to remove 1 day from today to have yesterday's date. All we have done here is printing of all this. Just print. Let's run today's date. As you can see here, it says 20th. Tomorrow is 21, 22. That is added 2 to it. That yesterday was what? 19th. Thank you for viewing. You are asked to get the 4,000 date from today. Show how you find it with Python. Your result should be in local version of date. Okay? What this one is saying is something like this. Say 10/23/21. The year, the day, the month. Okay? If you want to do this, say from date time, import date and time data. For X in range. Remember I say what? 4,000 day. This is the only one that will be recognized. The last one is not always used. I will say K is equals to date dot today. That is today's date plus time data X. So this place will supply us this value, which is 4,000. Then we can print K. We have to put it in what? Local version of date. %x, then you run. But remember, this x is different from this x. This x is coming from here, so let me just put y here. I will also put y here so that you distinguish it from this x. Okay, so it means 2032. If I reduce it, let's say to 40, then 41, you see, 2021. Okay, March 2nd day, that is what? 4,000 days from today. You can do for 20 days from today, 100 days from today. It depends on what you are looking for. You can use some other method to achieve this, but this is what we use for now. If you have any alternative solution, drop it in Q&A. Hope this understood. Thank you for viewing. What is Tckyta? Tckyta is a library in Python. It is for GUI. When you install your Python, this Tckyta will automatically be installed with your Python. To check that, let's say import Tckyta, you can check what is inside. This to let you know that it's available. And all these are the classes and methods in this library. So Tckyta will give you a lot of control to generate your own GUI. Use Tckyta, generate a window. You agree with me, if you want to import everything in a library or module, you can simply say from, for instance, Tckyta, import everything. All the methods, classes, everything, they are made available now. So we have direct access to them. It's like, say from Tckyta, import tk. But I don't want to do it like that. I simply want to import everything. From here, we have access to tk. Tk is a window of Tckyta. How do I mean by window? Like this you are seeing now is a window. This is a window of Jupyter Notebook. Okay? So the first window we are going to generate today is going to look like this, just an empty window. To do that, you use this for it. This is the what? The window of Tckyta. So this tk is inside here and is part of all the items we port from Tckyta. So let's see. So to do that, we simply say dot main loop. This main loop, which is a method order tk, is used to run tk continuously in the background. So it continues to run and run and run until you manually close the window. Let's see. If I run this now, see a window is generated, tk, as you can see here. It's running. What is making this window to run is because of this main loop. Continue to run until you manually what? Close it. Professionally, nobody will write this like this. You have to, first of all, assign this tk to something like Windows. Say window is equals to tk. Then you can say window dot main loop before you run it. Okay? I haven't done this. Let's continue. So generate a window with red, blue, and black button. Okay? The first thing we're going to do, we're going to generate an empty window. We're going to place what? A red button, a blue button, then a black button. But what you should know is that the location you place this red button can be controlled using a method called pack. Let's say this is black, this is blue. So we use pack to place all these buttons in the right location. Let's see. We say window is equals to this. The next thing we need to do now, let's say button red is equals to button. This function is going to work with this window. So we place it here as the first parameter. So we say the text is going to be, you can put anything, but I'm going to use red. Then we now put that the color we want here is red. Okay? Remember, this guy should be where? You can put it at the bottom, left, right. And to do that, we say this button red dot pack. Pack it what side? The side it should be, let's say, bottom. Let's just copy this for 3 of them. Duplicate for 3 of them. But here will be what? Blue. Blue. Here is black. Here is also what? Black. We're going to put blue here. We put blue here. We put black here. We put black here. Let's run this. Before you run, this window needs to run continuously. And the only way to run is to put this dot main loop. Okay? Hope everything's okay. Let's try. So look at what is given to us now. As you can see from here, we have black. We say black. The first one is red, is button. The blue is button. And the black is bottom. So we shouldn't do this. Let me close this, come to this place, say this one is right, why this one is what? Left. Okay, I'm going to run it again to see. I have, as you can see, the red is where? Bottom. Black is at where? Left. As you can see here, black is left. So all we have to do now is change this name. Let me close this. I'll put this one, for instance, submit. Put this one, okay, let me say cancel. Put this one, submit. Put this one, exit. Let's run this again. This 4 here shows that this is the 4th window we are generating. As you can see, I've changed the text. One is what? Exit. One is submit. One is cancel. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Look at the window below and reproduce it using Tkinter. We need a username. We need a password. We need a submit button. We also need where to enter something, an entry, then another entry for password. Okay, let's start. From Tkinter, we import everything. So the next thing we need to do, we say window is equals to tk this. If we run this now with this, we have what? An empty window. But that is not the target. We need to put some things here. The first thing we saw is to put a name. So we're going to say name. There's something we call label. It's a function in this tk. We call what? Label. It's to label, as the name goes, all the necessary buttons and entries we want to use. So we say label. The first parameter is still the window because we're going to work with windows. Then which text do you want to show there? From what we saw, the first one was what? Username. Okay, that was the first thing. Okay, the second thing we saw was the password. Okay, these are labeled strictly for this name. We are looking at just this now, this and this. As you can see, this is divided into 2 columns, the left hand side and the right hand side. For column, we call this one column 0. This side is called column 1. If you draw this again, this is row 0, while this is row 1. Okay? So we need to position them, but I don't want to do that yet. Okay? So let's position this one. As you saw, in where this is in row 0, are also in what? In column 0. So what do you use to do that? We use what we call grid. It's a method. We use to what? Position this label. We say role for this guy is 0. The column is also what? 0. Let me copy this and paste here. But you agree with me that for password, here is what? Row 1, but the column is what? 0. So we're going to say row 1, but column 0. Okay. That is not all. This we have done is just strictly this side of it. That's what we have succeeded it with. But what about this? So you need to enter something for username. You need to enter something for password. What about this to submit? For this one, we call this one entry. Okay, entry. So we're going to call this one entry 1, entry 2, or we say first entry, second entry. So we are going to come here immediately after this guy, a place to enter something. We call it first entry. Is equals to entry. This is just ordinary label. This is an ordinary label. This is an ordinary label. But here it's not a label, it's an entry. So we say entry. Entry to where? Same window. The first parameter. We go straight to grid now. We want to put it grid. You agree with me that this one is at where? Row 0, column 1. So we come here to say row is equals to 0. The column equals to 1. Let's copy this for this guy too, but the difference here is that this is the second entry and this is also a window, but the issue is that here is in where? Row 1, column 1. Row 1, column 1. Okay? Last but not the least, we have what? Submit. Okay? So the next one now is submit, which is a button. Remember, this is a label. This is a label. This is an entry. This is an entry. But this very one, as you can see, is not an entry. It's not a label. It's what? A button. So that's why we are using this button. Okay? Let's come here. See, this button is going to be on top of the window. So what text do you want to show? The text I want to show is submit. Where is the location of this button? When is it going to be? It's going to be, let's look at it together. As far as this is concerned, as I said before, this is 0, 1, 2. Okay. Why this is what? Talking about the row, row, row. For column, this is 0, 1. So for this guy, is at what column? Column 0, but row 2. You can put it at 3, you can put it at 4. You can bring it down to separate it from others. we're going to try the variation. The first one I'm going to try, say row equals to, let's say 2, okay? No problem. But we're going to see the effect of that. But the column is 0 side of it, okay? Because we have to reproduce it, 0. Now let's run. Look at what we are having. The username, the password, a submit button. Put 4. Finally, let me run. This is what the question demands us to do. The username, the password, a submit. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Create a window with the title Tkinter Lecture by Don and a button with text Welcome to Python Bootcamp. The first thing is to import everything in Tkinter. So we're going to say window equals to tk, okay? Then we say window, which we just generate, title, okay? Which title? The title is exactly this, okay? I also need a button. Let's say button equals to button function. We work with this window, but we want a text that says what? Welcome to Python Bootcamp. If we leave it like this, it will not be good. So the next thing we need to do is a button. With this button, we give it what? A location. This method will help us to do that. If I leave it like this, the button will be at the top all the time. Okay, let's just leave it like this first. Let's run the window with loop. Okay, let's run. Tkinter Lecture by Don. Welcome to Python Bootcamp. This is the default location. As you can see here, this part. This is a default. If I want to move it to left, right, button, I can do that. Let me just do for right. If I say side, just to show you, side equals to right. Then I'm going to close this, stop this. The next thing I will do now is to rerun. Let's open. See, before it was at top center. Now it's at what? Right, because of this we specify. But this is not what we want. All we want is the default, which is actually top. If you do top, okay. If you leave it, okay. Then rerun it. So you can see this is the default. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What if you want to disable resizing the GUI? All you have to do, you simply come to say window, which you are resizing. You put resizable. You say what? I don't want this to resize by putting what? 0, 0. Okay. So now let's run this. I see. This is it. Let's click this edge. We cannot. I'm trying everything to resize it. I cannot resize. You can see the cursor is not changing for me to resize. So if you want to disable resizing, you simply do this. This method went with the window. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. What if you want to set the default window size to 400 by 200? Okay. If you want to set the default size of your window, you simply do the window. You use geometry. Okay. Then you put 400 by 200. Then we run. And as you can see here, I cannot still resize it. But now this is bigger. This is 400 by 200. This is taking care of the freezing, while this one is taking care of the size. You can increase the size as you want. Assume I put 1000 by, let's say, 600. If we run this, let's say we'll have see very big now. Okay. Still we cannot resize. Let me close this. If I remove this resize, then let me reduce this to, let's say, 80 by 40, just to make it small. If I run this, you can see what I have. Have it very small. I resize still, but the default anytime you run this is going to be what? 80 by 40. I can maximize, I can what? Minimize, I can close. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Look at the video below. I reproduce it with Tkinter. Okay? Let me run and do this. Then I will come back and explain to you. Okay, let me first of all run this before I explain. Okay, the first thing I did was to import everything in Tkinter. Using this, then the empty window or the blank window, I gave it a title. This geometry we have explained. We explained also all this label. We also explain button. What we have not explained are the radio button. Okay. As you can see, the first radio will take care of Africa. As you can see the text, which is what we are seeing here. Then with value of 1, this one 2, this one 2, this one 2, to all these respectively. Then we put the button as you can see. Then all this, I've actually explained how this work, the columns and the row in grid. Then we use this one what? To run this at the background. If you look at this, you can select that Malaysia is in Asia, then you submit. We need to do more to be able to submit where we need to submit to, how we want to submit, and so on and so forth. But the question says we just reproduce this. I believe you understand everything that is here because they are very straightforward. There is nothing confusing here at all. And if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask. Thank you for joining. Look at the window below. I reproduce it with Tkinter. This is a label, and a label. This is an entry. This is also an entry. And also this is an entry. This is a button. One thing you should know now, what we are going to use this time, instead of using grid or place or pack, we are going to use place. Place has two parameters, the S and Y, meaning the Y axis and the S axis. This button, for instance, can be somewhere here, right? That means from here to this place, we need to know the number of pixels. Okay, that is the horizontal. Then from here to this place, we need to also know the pixel. That is what? The vertical. The same thing with this, from here to here, and also from here to here. This one, I mean from here to here. Let's see. So we need to know the distance between this edge and this place. All the distances, this horizontal distance are called what? The X axis, and they are in pixel. Okay. Also, the distance between this matters. The distance between this, that is what? The Y axis. This is what we are going to use, and that is called what? Place, with S and Y axis, instead of using grid or the pack. Okay, let's see, because it's simple. You already know this. We have done all this. We have done all this. What we have not done is this, which I just show you now, about where to place this at the S axis, 20 pixels from the left, 40 pixels from the top. The same thing with the entry, as I explained. We use place, S axis, Y axis. The same thing with this. Everything here you are familiar with them, or less place, which I've actually explained. If we run this now, we have this. Okay, but one thing I want to do now, I want to just change where they are located. Let me change this one to 170. Then I will change this one to 40. Let me run this first. As you can see, because I tamper with this, you can see that this entry, which I touch here, is now covering email. And this one jump down to this location. You can see. So this is the place we control the location of each of the widget. So we use this one to control the position of what? The widget. Okay. What I will do now, we close this, undo. If I run again, you can see it's perfectly okay. You are familiar with everything here. All you need to do is just to tweak this value to get it right. Hope this is understood. Thank you for joining. Create a GUI for comment with a scrolled text widget. With this, I believe we are done. Let's run this. So here I can type what I want to type. This is a good programming language. Let me copy this. I'll just paste it here. You can see that we can scroll. See, this feature is from this place. Here. Create a GUI for user to select year of birth. The next thing now, we need the spin box class to create an object. The first thing we need to put here is the window to show we are dealing with this window. Then we going to say from where to when. How do you want to increment it? We increment by 1. Okay, that is all. You can see year of birth. You can scroll up. This is being done with the help of what? Spin box. Okay, this widget going down, going up, or if you want to type 2023, you can type straight. We want to increase by 1. We are increasing by 1 because we specify it here, increase by 1. The end of this is 3000. So if I want to increase now, you see it's not increasing anymore. But if I want to decrease, it will decrease. If I put 1900, If I want to decrease, it's not decreasing, but it can only increase because that is the what? The limit. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Create a check button widget using Tkinter. Okay. The next thing we need to do, there's a check button is equals to check button. Then we put test equals to what? What you want to put. For instance, I am human. Or ask a question, are you human? So if you check the button, it means you are human. If you don't check it, it means you are not human. Because it's either yes or no, either true or false, I have to let the system know how to handle this. That takes us to variable. What type of variable are you going to put? Is boolean var. It means that this check button will be added as what? A boolean var. The next thing we need to do now is to call this guy. Then we pack it to the window. Then we know what to do to conclude this program. Let's run this. I have to separate this with a comma before running it. Then I run. If I check now, I have, are you human? So if I check this, it means I am human. Or whatever you want to put here, you can put. You can put learning Python. If I run this now, learning Python, if you check, it means you are learning Python. That is true. If you don't check it, that is false. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing.
What is Tkinter frame? Show how to create a frame. You agree with me that we have been dealing with what? Windows. For instance, this is a window. Then we see somewhere here the title. You can put anything you want to put, like a button, like a label, or a radio. You tell the position you want to put them on the window. But when we talk about frame will help you to organize your widgets. Frames are like containers. What would they do? They will help you to divide your window. If this is a window, a frame will help you to divide this window, for instance, into two. We can call this one the left frame, while this one is what? The right frame. You can able to do something like, here is what? Top frame, bottom frame. So this one is left, this is right, this is top, this is what? Bottom. You can decide to put all the button you want to put in this place. You can specify that this button I'm creating is going to be at the right what? Frame. Or this label is going to be at the bottom. Or this text is going to be on the left frame. Frame will help you to organize your widget, especially when you start designing GUI for complex game or anything in Python. You are going to use a lot of frames. Now let's see how to create one. At this time, I want to use Sublime Text to demonstrate this particular example of how to create a frame. You're already familiar with this. We import all the module we need. We create a window. This is the dimension of the window. Here is the first time we are creating a frame. We say this frame is going to be what? A top frame. There is a variable. We are using this class to create what? This frame. By using this frame class, we say what? This frame class is going to what? Run on this window we created here. We say this is the border width. I'm going to explain that. We give the highlight, it's going to be black. The thickness is going to be 1. We have another frame. We say this frame is going to be left frame. It's going to be what? Park at the left hand side. We give some padding. That is pad X is 1, pad Y is 2. We created another frame. We called what? The right frame. This R frame. We also give all this information. Remember? Top. This is the top. This is the left. This is the right. The frames have been created. We want to assign this widget to the various frame. The first thing we did, the A button is going to reside on the top frame and it's going to be on the left hand side. This, as you can see, is one of the button on the top frame. There is another button, B, is still going to be on the top frame, but it's going to be on the right hand side. Okay? You can see now we are using this frame to organize our widget. In this place now, we have another button. This button is going to be on the left frame. We say these 3 buttons, they're going to be on the right frame. One is going to be on the top of it, left and right. Let's run this and see. If we run, you see what we are having here. This, as you can see, this is the top frame. This is the left. This is the right. Okay? The top said that the border width is going number 5. That is the reason for this between the edge and these buttons. Here we say what? It's going to be 30. As you can see here now, it's going to be 30. You can see this is very what? Wide. The width is very wide. So it depends on you. You can continue to tweak all this. Then we say what? This guy is going to be black. As you can see, it's black. This one is going to be red. This one is going to be green. As you can see. And all these button we assign, as you can see in this place. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to move this button G to left frame. Okay? Button G, you are going to the left frame. I will be on the right hand side. Let's run this again. You see now, button G has moved from this place to this place. Okay? But what you should know is that it's not important or it's not necessary you put these borders. If I remove the borders, for instance, if I run, you see the system still know what to do. As I move these, you see they are what? Moving along with what? These frames. So the system knows that what? This is the top. This is left. This is right. And this is top. There's no way you can swap them. Even if you move them like this, you can't swap. You can't swap. Okay? It's not only button. You can put other things like radio. You can put label. It depends on what you want to put. Okay? And for this right frame, as you can see, this is D, this is F. It's like they are on top of each other, right? Okay, good. D and F. D and F. Why? Because you see this one is top, this one is left. The system is confused. If you wanted to be side by side, I put this one for instance left. You say this guy is going to be what? Right. Then we run. If we run now, you see, rearrange. Hope you understand what we have done in this place. Thank you for viewing. Understanding variable classes. You already know what is entry, for instance. An entry is a widget in Tkinter. It's like the place you can put values in normal GUI. For instance, you want to type 200. This place is open for you to type in your number. This is called what? An entry. We also have what we call radio, whereby they give you different options. You select what you want to select. All these widgets can be connected directly to application variable by using options like variable, test variable, something like off value, on value, even what? Value. Assume you change this value now, this value, you change it. The widget will be updated automatically. But for this place to hold this value, it needs something like test variable to work with what? This widget. That is to tell you the type of value that will be here. So we need subclass to work with widget, such as the string var, the int var, the double var, and the boolean var. What do they do? For instance, this one is meant to hold strings. This is meant to hold what? Integers. This is meant to hold what? Floats. This is meant to hold booleans. Let me show you something. Look at this. You are used to this. You are used to this. You are used to this. If I run this, I'll just have what? An empty window. Okay? Now I want an entry in this place. I want an entry. Let me just do a normal entry. Let me remove this. And remove this to pack it. If I run again, and I have what? A place I can type in values. Okay? These are what? Entries. This value I'm typing means nothing for now. I'm just typing. But the system or the program cannot use these values. Okay? Because I have not told the system the type of value that these things are, or the variable that will help me to hold them. Okay? I need a variable, a place to put these values. How am I going to do that? I will simply come to this place. I say test variable is equals to something. So once I do this now, it means that whatever value I'll be typing, let me go back. Whatever value I will type here today, there is a place they will stay for me to use them. For now, there's no place we can take them. Remember, a variable is like a bus. But in Critical, we don't use the normal variable. We use this like what? String var, int var, double var, or boolean var. I need to tell the system the type of variable that this is and where I'll be storing them. If I close this now, let me undo. I can say, okay, what I want here is v. What is v? Int var. Mean integer will be what? Living in this place. So whatever you are going to put here is going to be integer starting with 0. So if I put this now, there's a place they are now living. They are living at v. What is v? Int var. This test variable now is telling us what? Whatever you're going to put in this place, I will be storing it what? At v. Okay? Let me do this so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Look at this. I declare a function. The work of the function is to multiply 10 by the value in v. How do I get the value in v to this function? Is by using get. That means I want to fetch the value in this place. Remember now, v is holding these values, right? The values in this place, I want to get them. Once I get them, I want to multiply by 10. Okay? If I multiply by 10, the total should be put in m. Then I will go back to v again to change the value here. To change this value, I want to set what is at v with the value of m. That is a new value after multiply by 10. That is what this instruction is saying. This is an instruction which has not been used. How do I use this instruction? I say what? Convert button. Just a button and another widget. What is the work of this button? Is to convert whatever value that a user will put in this place. Once you click another small button here, which I call convert, this command will be activated. What is this command? The command is attached to what? A function, get value. So once I click this convert, the system will come use this what? Function. What is the function saying? It's saying get the value that is here, let's say 20. Get the value, multiply by 10. Once you multiply by 10, behind the scene, put the result you have back in this place. That is 200. That is the meaning of this set. But for you to be able to capture this, you need to what? Do this. This is why we are here. You need to what? Define this object from this subclass. Once you've done that, you can now set this test variable to v. Once you set it now, we have a place to always receive whatever value that the user will be putting in this place. Now let me show you. Ctrl B, you see now. If I put, for instance, 20 here now, I click convert, you see, say 200. If I put 13, if I say convert, it says what? 130. What is it doing? It will take the value that is 13, after multiply by 10, set it back to this place. Remember, this place now is being controlled by what? V. We got the value that was at V, which is 20. Then we multiply it by 10, set it back to V. Once you click this command. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. Let's look at this. I want you to look at another way you can rewrite something like this label. If I run this, I have this. There is no issue. If I come to this place too, I run this very one, click this. You see, I still have the same thing. The same output. What I want you to learn is, you can remove this from here and make it something like this. Now that I've declared that this label class, I created this object from it, password. So I can use this one as a reference to get all the options from this class. See the way I did it here now? The same text with this value. I moved it from this place inline. It was inline in this label, but I want to reference it in this format. You see, I remove it from here, then become like this. This is what I want you to learn, because you might be doing something or you are reading another person's code. You see something like this. Know that it's the same thing. Either you do it like this or you do it like this. It doesn't matter. Even this one, you can write it like this button as you see it here. You can simply pull it out of this place. I say what I want to do is submit. I want to put what? Test here. You can use single quote or double quote, anyone you want to do. Then I simply put this one here. It's the same thing. Okay. I can simply remove this one from here as well, which you already know. Say submit dot grid. If I run this, I will still have what? The same output. So let me run this now. You see, I am still having the same output. So it depends on the one you are comfortable with. Either of them, they are both correct. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. In this Python project, we are going to do a guess number program. Python will have a number generated. The user is meant to what? To guess the particular number. How do you do that? The first thing we need to do is to import random. Okay? The next thing is to have what we call what? The random int. This random int is what Python is going to use to get the secret number. Okay? This is the first phase. Let's get another cell. This next place now, you are meant to guess this number stored in this variable. So you'll be given the opportunity to enter your guess. After you must have entered this, one will now compare the guess number you guess with the Python secret number if they are similar. And you agree with me that to do that, we have to use the if statement. Asking if what you enter is equals to what Python has. If it is true, simply say what? You are right. The next one is if what you enter is higher than the secret number, we print this is higher than what? The number. What if it is not? We simply say else. We write opposite of this. These are the three possibilities. The first possibility is what you enter is equals to what Python has in the secret number variable. The second is what you enter is higher than what Python has. The third is what you enter is lower than that. Okay, now let's run this. If I click this to run this, then we click this to run this, it's already asking me to enter the secret number. If I enter now, I will not be able to compare with this. So let me kill this. So let me simply put this one here. Let me join them together. Let me run this now. Now it's asking me to guess the number. I don't know the number. If I put 3, see this is higher than the number. So the next thing we should do now is for Python to tell us what the number in case we miss it. So the next thing you should ask yourself now, where should we print the result? Is equal, we are okay. If it's greater than, we want to know the secret number. So let's go back and run this again. It says I should guess the number. I put 4. If I enter, this is higher than the number. Say this is the number. Okay. So I think it's better we say the secret number. The number is, can do something like this. This. So let's also copy this and place it here to say the number is what? Is this. Let's run again. If I put 4, say this is higher than the number. That is 4 is higher than the number is 1. If I click here again and run this, definitely Python should be able to have another random number. If I run this now, I put 7, for instance. You say what? This time Python has 6 as a number. I put 7. You say what? This is higher than the number. This is the first phase. The next class, we are going to give opportunity to the user to play this 3 times, because this time just only once. Once you miss it, you miss it. But we want a situation whereby when you miss it, Python should give you opportunity to play it 3 times. Hope this is understood. Thank you for viewing. At this stage of the project, we want to make sure that this user can play this game 3 times
Not just once, 3 times. That means you are going to use while loop. And to use while loop, we have to initialize the number of guesses. While number of guesses is less than 3, okay, that means we must initialize this guy to be able to use it here. Okay, then we have to indent this. Okay, when we are finished with this process, we should increase the number of what? The number of guests. Okay, all this you already understand. All this you already know. So now let's run this. If I run this now, you see what is the number? I put 3. You see the number is 8. That means these guys are still running. That is, all these guys are still running, which I don't really want. So if I put 8 now, if I enter, it's still telling me that I'm right, but it's still asking me to guess. Even when I'm right, it's still asking me to guess. That means there's issue. So let me still put 8 to finish it. So the first thing we need to do is to come here to correct this. If you are right, then you have to break. Stop. I don't want this one to be displayed for now. I don't want this solution. I just want to guess. Let's run this. If I put 4, you say I'm right. So it stopped now. Okay, let's run again. If I put 7, see it's lower than the number. Let's put 8. You say it's still lower. Let's put 9. You say you are right. Okay. Now let's run again. I put 1. You say it's lower. Let me put 2. You say it's lower. Put 3. You say what? It's lower. But I want a situation whereby, even though in this type of situation, I want a situation, if I miss everything, it should be able to give me what? The number. In case at the end of the day, this guys is the last position, then it should give me the solution. So I can interrupt this here from here, say, hence if this guy is not equals to this guy, and can put this in curve bracket, and this is the last stage. They are not equal, is the last stage. How do we know it's the last stage? The first stage is norm is 0, the next one is 1, the next one is 2. 2 is the final stage. Let's now put a norm underscore guess is equals to 2. What do you expect me to do? All you have to do for me, let me also put this in curve bracket. All you have to do for me, simply give me the result. Print the result. So now let's run it. I put this 4. It says it's higher. Deliberately, let me put 2. It's lower. Let me put 1 now. What is your guess? I put 1. See, the number is 3. So it's not acting with this now. The number is 3. Okay? Though I am wrong. So I want to say, in this place, you are wrong. You are wrong. The number is this. Let's run again. I put 6. You say the number is lower. Let me make another lower number. Put another lower number deliberately. Finally, say you are wrong. The number is 7. That's what I want. Hope you understand the process. In case you are not still correct at the last stage, what do you need to do? Simply reveal the solution. Hope this understood. Thank you for viewing.
This video is over. Go to starfreelance.eu to download these videos, materials, and sources. Watch more videos to get premium videos and ebooks. We'll be a Starfreelancer.